Welcome and thank you for joining us today in the IACS News. Today we would like to congratulate Lindsay Bussick of Chaos Divers for a certification in open water diving.
The best gift ever.
It is the best gift ever.
It's the right color, right size.
Hey, cool. Yay.
Good thing I told you. Keep it on the down low.
Those are for appearance only.
Soft blow. Soft blow.
Decorative use only.
Oh, there's stars everywhere. This is what took you a month to do, isn't it?
It did. I got Lindsay's help with that part.
Where's it at?
Just keep looking, buddy.
Keep looking.
It's a scavenger hunt. You forgot to put the present in there.
There's nothing in here.
Yeah, there is. Maybe I'll look through the
Do you want to help him get it?
No, but keep looking.
Can you read?
What are you reading there, Jacob? So, because Jacob is not able to speak, the surprise is this morning Lindsay finished her open water certification and is now a certified diver.
I need you to know, everybody here knew.
Literally everybody across the entire United States probably.
Lindsay, It's a Criming Shame would like to say congratulations for achieving your open water diver certification, and thank you both for joining us today. Also, we'd like to give a shout out to Turtle Boy, who achieved over 1K subscribers yesterday, and we'd also like to give a shout out to Eric from Ride or Dive. Those links are in the description of this video. So we'll carry on with the video, you guys, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Alright guys, I really don't know how to express this, so I'm just going to tell you guys straight out. They found the truck, they identified the truck, and Nathan is indeed in there. We're waiting on the tow truck, and it's closure for the family. This is probably one of the hardest things I've ever did.
Check that out right there. The vehicle upside down. 755 XEL. Guys, we found him.
Charles was going to be coming home to his loved ones.
All right, Eric, you did a great job. Well, you did a fantastic job. Keep diving, guys. It's not worth it to stop, which means keep pushing in life. You know, there's somebody out there that loves you. And if you don't think so, we love you. We all love you. Love you, Josh. Thank you for your help. All right, Buck. All right, brother. With that being said, guys, thank you for all your support, each and every one of you. I'm not going to go through everybody on the list, but thank you. Gosh.
Okay. Well, did you like that? Did you like the video?
Yes, I did.
I love the part where you said, if you think there's no one out there that loves you, we love you. That got me.
I know. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
of course, we want to thank everyone, and we want to thank everyone for joining us today, and of course, Chaos Divers. So, just feel free to introduce yourself there, Jacob and Lindsay and Eric.
So I'm Jacob Grubbs. I guess founder of Chaos Divers, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, so here.
I'm Lindsay. I started working with Jacob about a year and a half ago now. Full-time last July. I basically just kind of help manage the chaos.
And
Absolutely.
I'm Eric. Started working with Jacob last summer.
Yeah,
Oh,
last
It's
summer.
been last August. I went and got certified, and whenever I can get away from my job, I take the time off to come out and one, I get to join my wife, and two, join Jacob on the road and try to help with any way I can.
He
Absolutely.
helped out. He's helped out on a lot of recoveries, actually. What now? 4, 5 now.
Something like that. I don't remember.
Whenever he can get out, he's always there to help. So it's awesome.
I was going to say, Lindsay and Eric, I first saw Jacob, and I know you're a separate entity. I first saw Jacob on AWP, and then later I learned that he had his own channel. And throughout the time, because I started with the Suzanne Morphew case back in Colorado and moved over to Delphi, but of course still having that caring heart. And actually, I think, because I know that AWP was out there for Suzanne as well, but like I said, it's like, I know you guys are your separate entity, and that's, like I said, when you guys, I realized like everyone has their own channels. But Lindsay, do you have your own channel as well?
No, that's their thing.
No.
Like, I have one that like I've put up like little videos of like, but it's of our trips, and it's just kind of like collages, but I don't have my own, like, this is all
I got you.
I'm here to support him. And then Eric recently started his own channel, so any way that I can help him, kind of marketing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me personally, this means a lot. I know to both of us, but I know that I knew you guys before Deb had even heard of you guys. And so back in the day when I first seen you, what it strikes me always about somebody's heart, if they have a true heart, and that their intentions are what I call pure, not meaning we're perfect, but they're pure. They're doing it for unselfish reasons. And I know that it started off, Jacob, as you guys were doing like, and you guys still do actually, where you clean up the stuff, the vehicles and stuff that's in the rivers and stuff like that. Do you want to just talk about when you actually started your Chaos Divers and about that a little bit?
So when we started Chaos Divers, we took off, and it basically I was just wanted to become a scuba diver, and I noticed there was a lot of trash in the river systems and stuff. And I'm an avid fisherman, and I'm like, you know what? We need to clean this junk up. So we started cleaning up the environment, and we went to the swimming holes where people were jumping off cliffs and picking up bottles and knives and all kinds of junk that people throw down at parties. And, you know, as you speak of Adventures with Purpose, Jared and I have been friends for way before we both become YouTubers. He was actually working with a different company, and we actually became friends. From there, he started scuba diving before me. I kind of went after him, but then he found his first car, decided, hey, we need to get lift back. You got lift back. He started pulling the cars. I got interested in it. I said, man, that's really awesome. He asked me if I would help him with Nathan Ashby case, which is the case that you just displayed,
Yeah.
you know, that on the introduction of us. And that was the first time that I was introduced to helping people. The feeling was, I'm just going to say the feeling was horrible at the beginning. Like I didn't know what to say to the family. I was kind of the first one to announce, hey, this is what we do. Or this is what is going on right now, because they couldn't actually see the truck. So I was the first point of contact with the mother, and it hurt. But after I seen the next day, after I seen the relief that was on her face, it was something that I wanted to continue to try to do to help the families. And here we are now. We've helped 11. We brought home 11 people in the past 11 months.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Because in a sense, like what we do is kind of very parallel. You guys do water, but we try to give people a voice on here. There's people like we helped, for instance, bring a young boy back home that had been missing, and they weren't sure what happened to him. And because of the live, and because of the dad coming on, and because of his Xbox, it actually helped them find him. And he was about 11 hours away. But it let the grandma know and the dad know that they found him, that he was safe, and he's back home now, and he's doing well. To me, it's the most rewarding thing in the world to be able to help people. I've done it all my life personally. It's the way I am, and it means, again, people come before anything. They'll come before a subscriber, before any donation. Doesn't matter. It's always about what you can do. Remember the movie Pay It Forward? I was well before that one. You know, when I saw that movie, I just wish that more people would exude those same characteristics or attributes. And so, yeah, like I didn't intend on coming into true crime myself, but here's where I sit. And at first it was very hard. Like you, when I watched that video with Nathan, you can just feel your heart and your sadness, because it's just hitting you, because there's nothing pretty about it. But yet, in the saying that, you're bringing answers to people that need it. And that's what makes it such a beautiful thing, even though it's a sad situation.
With the situation of Nathan, and at that moment, when I was sitting in my Jeep, I just got to thinking about, what if that was my son? And what if I was in her position? And then it just hit me like, she may have not had answers if it wasn't for Jared. If it wasn't for us to go out there and try to help, and Team Waters was out there, sonaring. If it wasn't for them finding the vehicle, and Jared, taking it upon himself to dive on it in a time that the water was really rough, he was able to bring him home. And then after that, we helped Jared on a few cases, and then we came back on a case of Charles Flaherty, and we actually solved it together, Lindsay and I and Eric. We dove on 10 vehicles, 15 vehicles till we found the right one.
A lot.
So,
yeah.
So we want to be able
was
to.
that the? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We want to strive and just not give up and continue to help these people because, I never thought I'd ever do this. I don't, when I met Lindsay, she was a ground searcher. So she had already been involved in this. I never thought I would ever do this type of work, but I don't want to ever give it up.
Right. Because it's so rewarding. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask, you brought up the case with the guy, Charles. Was that like a 20-year-old case or vehicle?
Years.
The car was a Cadillac. I think I watched that one.
Well,
I watched that one too.
Well, that was a Cadillac. The other vehicle, it was a Beretta, right? A Chevy Beretta. The Cadillac we were doing vehicle recoveries at that day, and we were like, hey, let's search another spot for Charles because Cadillac gave us so much trouble that we decided, hey, I'm leaving these 3 cars alone because if this car gave us this much trouble, they look older. And so after that, we decided to go down to Yellow Creek, and actually we dove on 4 vehicles after that, didn't we?
Yeah, on the way to Yellow Creek, there were 4 vehicles parked. Pretty much, it looked like a parking lot, parked in the river, but they were clear, no license plates on them. And then we went down to Yellow Creek.
And we instantly, when we turned that corner and we seen that, we all knew it was Charles. So we were able to bring him home.
How long ago was that?
Last October.
Last October. Okay.
Yes, in October. Yeah. I have 2021 there. Yeah. So you and Lindsay connected about 1.5 years ago, Lindsay said. So Lindsay, okay, so you guys were friends before that?
No.
No.
So how did that exactly transpire? Can you answer that one?
Well, here it goes.
Sorry.
It means a new sub.
I was volunteering for a search and rescue ground search team. The person that we were searching for at the time, we believed that he could have potentially went into the water in his vehicle. One of his friends knew Jacob and had gotten me in contact with him. I texted Jacob that evening, said, this is who I am. This is what we're doing. Jacob called me right away, explained to me what he did, how he did it, and then it kind of explained the YouTube side of it. At that point in time, I had no idea this side of YouTube existed. So for me, I was like, I don't care. Can you come help me or not? And then he did. He came out the very next day. They helped us search. We stayed in contact because we were going to be searching the following weekend for that gentleman again. During that week, we found out that he was okay. He had checked himself into a hospital. And then that next weekend, we ended up having a different case of a young woman that we were searching for. Jacob actually knew her mother. And even though he doesn't ground search, has never ground searched, he said, Lindsay, I want to come help, whatever I can do. He came out, helped us search that night. The next day, she was found as well. Unfortunately, she was no longer with us when she was located. And then from there, Jacob and I kind of stayed in contact. He was trying to get his website up and running. I offered my help. He gave me every piece of vital information that he could possibly give somebody after knowing them for 3 weeks. And then from there, that was in March of last year. And then from there, it kind of just grew. And eventually I went out and helped him with some camera work a couple of times. And then more and more and more. Last July, I lost my job due to COVID. We just didn't have the funding. And at my office and I said, well, I'm all yours if you want me. If that was a good decision or bad decision on his part, but I was kind of, I had nothing else. So from there, July, and then September, he and I hit the road first with Adventures with Purpose, and from there, on our own. And it's been pretty amazing to see his growth and see his skill level just improve each time. He's finding things that nobody else is. So it's been amazing to have a small part in that and be able to help however I can.
Right. And it is too, isn't it? It's a beautiful thing, like I said. So I will always use that expression that everything happens for a reason. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. I always find that. What did you say? What did you say, Lindsay?
I don't believe in coincidences at all. I think
correct.
For everything, we might not always know what it is right away, but
yeah,
that's how
exactly.
I feel the exact same way. I just feel like everything is meant to have its path, and go the way it's planned. That's kind of like, I'm kind of more of just a YOLO person. I let things play out. I'm more of a free spirit type of person, and so it's done me well. Let me put it that way. With intuition, with just everything. But if there's one thing that I know for us is that me, Deb, and Adam, and sorry that Adam couldn't be here, but he's rocking out at Elton John tonight.
I know. I'm so like, really?
Yeah, and to apologize too, because see, normally we cover Delphi, and Delphi is a humongous case in the true crime over on this side. So I don't like to do stuff like that. If I would have put Delphi in the title, it means that more people come because they're hearing the Delphi. I don't like to use things like that because this is about you guys and what you're doing. And I don't ever like to mislead people. But at the end of the day, people like drama. They do. They want to hear the bad stuff more than the good stuff, sadly. And you know what? I'll never, it's not my path. But to stay genuine and pure to my heart, Deb's heart, Adam's heart. And that's why, I started this channel off as like Sunny Justice when I brought it up for Suzanne Morphew. And then Deb and Adam came along the way. And you could just see the beautiful hearts that they are as well. So moving over to you, Eric, and we weren't expecting you today. So welcome. Thanks for being here.
My fault.
Yeah, we got it. A great bonus there.
Right, honest. Yeah. So, Eric, tell us more about yourself and what it is that you love doing and what you don't love doing. I'm just kidding. Just tell us what you love doing.
Last year, I guess, I found 2 new passions for hobbies that took me down this route, really. So I love riding my bike. I ride a lot. And then I started scuba diving last summer. I saw what Jacob was doing, and it just seemed extremely interesting. I love the water. And then he needed a second diver at the time. So I was like, well, what the heck? Why not? And went and got certified, got my gear, got certified, and try to join as much as I can whenever I can get out on the road. So I take a couple weeks of vacation a year, and I pretty much spend all of them on the road with them.
Yeah. There's nothing better than when doing stuff that you love, honestly. And Lindsay, like you said, you might have lost your job. And actually, I just lost mine recently as well. But you know what? I'm sitting here smiling because at the end of the day, I know that this was how it was meant to go. And it's allowing me to spend more time creating my videos, trying to figure things out. Because it's really hard when you're working full time and then creating videos, dealing with social media, all these different things, and most of it's just self-taught, to be honest with you. And I'm just learning as I'm going and growing, because the intent at the start was never to really grow. But once you realize that you have this awareness, like you guys can bring to others, and the impact that you can have, that's what makes it beautiful, to be honest with you, is that as the channel grow, and I'm as sure as your guys' channel grows too, right? At the end of the day, your hearts will always be the passion, and success will come with that because you're just staying true to who you are, you know. And that's why even with AWP, and have you ever heard of Real Gonzo, Jacob?
No.
No. Okay. So he's basically, yeah, you know what? He's the most adventurous person I swear you'll ever meet. But he's what we call boots on the ground, where you guys are like in the water. But it's like there's a few people that I really respect because I've come across them in my path, which is you guys, okay, and AWP and Gonzo and Cop Facts. Those are the main people that come to my mind because of just they're doing things with purity and just helping others. You know, no need to pat the backs in a sense. It's just helping others and feeling good. I know it's cheesy to say this, but the biggest reward is when you can make somebody else smile or do something for them, not because you were expecting to do it. It's because you maybe gave an ear to them. You listened. You those little small things that mean a lot to people. Lindsay, I want to go back to you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So you got your certification and you pulled the wool over Jacob's eyes. And you said everybody basically knew about it, but Jacob. So even though I did listen to the video, but a lot of other people, of course, wouldn't have. So can you give us? So you decided to get that certification because.
So I'm a total fish. I love the water. I learned how to swim at a very, very young age. Swimming lessons to the point where I grew out of swimming lessons. So the campground ended up making just conditioning classes for me. So I absolutely love it. When I first met Jacob and he and I really kind of started talking more and more about what he was doing, I had said, like, I just want to see what you guys see. I just want to see it one time. And then Eric became certified. Sort of have, now I'm like the odd man out. And it's not that I don't love what I do or my side of things. I want to be able to help in the best way possible. Even if it's just having a better understanding of what it is they do. Jacob has been pushing probably for the better part of a year now. Like, she's going to dive. She's going to dive. Oh yeah, she's going to dive. People ask a lot. And I've always said, no, like, I'm going to stay on top of the boat. I've actually had this planned since I think I went back and looked. Like, I messaged Jacob's good friend and an amazing instructor. His name's Terrence. I actually messaged him back on April 4th and said, hey, I want to do this. I don't want to tell Jacob. So, you know, having this in the one, is extremely difficult to not tell him.
I bet.
There were days where I was like, all right, I'm just going to tell him. And Eric was like, no, calm down. Think about this. Like, keep this a surprise. But it's one more thing that I can do to help them. It's one more thing that I can help a family with. I'm not going to be jumping in the rivers right away. I've still got a lot to learn. I also feel confident in learning those things, especially with everything here at Mermet Springs that I have access to, and then having access to these two, and they're awesome in helping and guiding. It's just, I need to know what they experience. That way I can really help.
Yeah.
And be the most beneficial. So
right.
For me, but I also did it to help them as well.
Right. I remember that moment when you were talking and you basically were saying that, you know, like almost like you maybe didn't want them to be there because you would have said, you know, like, I'm not going to do this or whatever. Because again, you know, so that would have been unnerving for you, correct?
I'm very strong-willed.
Fairly.
I wouldn't know anything about this. No.
I'm very much like kind of like YOLO. It is what it is, but with anxiety. So and a bit of OCD. So I'm very much a perfectionist. Not because I have to have things perfect, but because I'm terrified of failure. So if I were doing something, or if I were setting something up, and these two, while I was learning, if they tried to even just give me a suggestion just to help me be better, I probably would have been like, nope. And I would have been too flustered, and I would have said, forget it. And I would have walked away. So it was something that I needed to do for myself.
Yeah.
It was something that I needed to learn in the way that I can learn best,
and
then come back and get their advice.
Yeah.
Who does that sound like, Sonny?
Doesn't sound like me at all. Not at all.
Sounds just like Sonny.
I am.
You guys have a lot in common. You have a lot in common.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
Jacob, you said you like to fish. Are you a bass fisherman? What do you fish for?
Yes, ma'am. I fish for bass. Before this, how do I put it? Not overwhelming, but this job takes a lot of time. We're on the road 24/7. You know, we may take breaks 1 or 2 days, but fishing's not on the top priority. It's sleep, or it's to try to, you know, get our minds back to ourselves to help a family. So we push ourselves, and sometimes we just say, "Oh, we got to stop." But yes, I did a lot of tournament fishing, and I fished since I was really little with my dad. And
me too.
So
me too. I married a fisherman too.
you know what it's like. It's definitely.
Oh yeah.
If you tell me let's go fishing, I'm saying where. Let's go. But recently, in the past year, it's been rare that I actually go out and fishing. I think maybe 5 times.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that, what you guys, if something like that, or what it is that you do to unwind and to deal with the feelings and the stress that comes from, finding someone. I know there's probably a lot of emotions that go with that. And how do you deal with that?
When let's just say, like, when we found
Samantha Hopper, was a hard one for you?
That was definitely a hard one. I think every one of them that we have found, the next day, maybe even 2 days, we'll just do nothing but whatever we want to do after that. It's just like trying to, get our heads around what just happened, and just take time for ourselves, because it's very emotional. It's an emotional roller coaster that day, and you just need a time to relax. And usually it takes about a day or two, and then we're up and running again. So
More. Actually, the emotion.
Go ahead, son. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay. Like Jacob's more of that in the moment emotions. I shut everything out. Like at that point, like it's strictly procedures and, very methodical. I usually don't process everything until like a week or so after we come home from a whole full trip. Jacob is in that moment. Eric is a little in between. But I just shut everything out at that point in time. Like, it's a vehicle, we're pulling it, but that's just how I have to handle things. And then everything at home on my own. Just, I take a day or two to just take that time for me to, okay, what the heck just happened? What did we just do? And really understand the overall, the big picture of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Definitely. So go ahead. We're talking. We have so much we want to find out from you guys. Like,
I was just gonna say, right. It's like I'm probably more like Jacob that way. I'm right there in the moment. But then when I'm doing stuff on the lives here, I have to go into a different box. So I don't have to think about the actual something that happened to this child, the children that were murdered and stuff like that, or the people that were murdered. So I have to put myself in a different zone there. But if I was say on at that moment finding that, or I'd be bawling like a baby because I just my emotions get ahead of
yeah,
me for sure. I'm a
yeah,
Well,
instant.
with Samantha Hopper's case, the reason why that's the case that sticks out with me the most, it's not that none of these that I care about that I found before or after them. It's just at that moment, there's a 3-year-old that won't ever get to see,
yeah,
you know, four.
yeah,
She wouldn't be able to grow up, and it just sucks that it's like that. You know, I've got kids, and
Yeah.
yeah,
and to actually grasp a concept that after 23 years we come in and we're able to find them to give Desiree and her family answers. That
yeah.
was it's like I said, emotional roller coaster. 23 years of finding somebody, that's insane.
The
But we did.
worst, the
I
worst. Let me just say this quickly. The worst pain I can only imagine somebody can feel is it's one thing when you know that somebody has died and you know where they are. It's the worst thing on a family ever to me to have no answers, don't know where they are. That must be the cruelest thing I feel on somebody's heart, you know. So thank you because it is a blessing to be able to do that, like you said, because not knowing where somebody went for 23 years and then you guys gave them answers. It's beautiful.
Yeah. One of the other questions that I had going back to, the kind of the fishing thing, we use a fish finder, a depth finder, the sonar, and see the little fish. And we've seen bridges and things, in the water that are over. Even I live on a lake, and there's a town in the bottom of the lake, an old town. It's a reservoir. And so I just wondered, what has been the difference that you've seen in the technology? Has it improved a lot over the last few years? So that when you're looking, you can identify immediately that's a vehicle, or do you have to really study it? How's that work?
So with an avid fisherman, they're going to say, oh, that's a piece of structure down there. But what kind of structure is the case? Like, they're not divers. They don't dive on this stuff. Oh, that's a big rock laying on its side. Actually, no. If you'll pay attention to it, there's wheels on that. That's actually a car. Over the 2 years that we have done this, like, I would trust these two with all my heart to know if they clear a spot or not, because they have learned, just like I have, on how to identify a vehicle compared to a rock or but the technology in the past 5 years is light years ahead. Like, it's even one of these sonars that we have is a Helix. From the Helix to the brand new one that we got, the Apex, what did you say? It was like 1080 to 4K?
I'd say it was standard def to 4K pretty much.
So
it makes a big difference. Like, sonar has come a long way just in the last 3 to 5 years, let alone 10 years. But it's also in knowing how to set your sonar up. So our sonar is not set up. It's as just
Sorry about that.
Sorry,
that's
super chat going off. Sorry, Lindsay.
it's the same a fishermen have. It's just set up differently. Ours is set up to see structure, not to see fish. Ours is set up to for different depths and different frequencies and that kind of thing. So a lot of times it's the same thing a lot of these other fishermen have. It's how it's set up.
Well, and the other part of that too is not how it's set up. We don't do just one pass over something if we have any question what that item is. It might be a pile of rocks, but if we're not 100% certain that it's just a pile of rocks, we're going to take different angles, different approaches, go over it multiple times to make sure we know exactly what it is that we're looking at, or we can be certain that is not a vehicle.
And if we have a question on it, we'll actually dive on it. So from our past on diving things that we have seen on the sonar for the past 2 years, that's a rock, that's a Jersey barrier, that's a bridge, that's structure, that's a stump. Those are cars. You know, very rare. It's happened. It's happened recently. I've dove on a rock.
But dove on a bed.
I dove on a bed. But that's another something that just gave us a different odd shape. And, you know, we were looking for Harry Milligan's, we were looking for Harry Milligan for Mark. We were looking for just something out there. He's been missing for almost 40, what is it, 40 years now?
38 years.
38.
Oh, wow.
38 years. So his vehicle can't possibly be silted out. So what we seen on that bed looked like a structure of a car, but it's actually a full queen size bed. So
Yeah.
was the top taken off that car and was it silted in? That could have been. At least we dove on it. We know now, and we can go on.
Absolutely. Can we go to a few of the questions that are being asked in the chat, if that's okay?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Callie wants to know where the most unnerving place you have been. What's the most one that's unnerving that each one of you, whichever one, you guys might have different ones, but
South Carolina.
River.
The Edisto River. Lamar Green. Finding Lamar, just finding his truck. Like, I'm looking around and we're seeing alligators on the shore, and they say that they won't with you, but you know, you hear stuff in the water that you're not sure of because you can't see what's in the water because it's like mud. And you know that it's brackish water, which means that when the tide comes in, it turns kind of into a salty water. So they've seen dolphins come in. And so when
that's a good go ahead. Sorry.
So when I dove on that vehicle, it was unnerving because I'm not for sure exactly what marine life I'm going to encounter while I'm down there.
Well, that's going to go into the next question because it says, have you ever been bitten by anything in the water? Any of you?
A bass. Well, my finger bit a bass. See you cut.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think everybody's been pretty safe. I mean, there's always, there's the possibility of like bull sharks. They're up here in the Mississippi. Like, this is how high they come. So, sharks, grouper,
big old catfish.
Yeah.
Alligators. I mean,
there's some big catfish, right?
Jacob, when you were doing that, when you were looking at that plane wreck, what fish was that? Would that look like a shark? I mean, the one with the little He-Man in the captain's pilot seat, Hulk.
That's the Incredible Hulk that was sitting in
Sorry, your Incredible Hulk.
That's actually that's at a facility called Mermet Springs. It's a dive facility. So they have planes, helicopters, jet skis, buses, ambulance, fire trucks, semis. It has all that has been environmentally cleaned.
Yeah.
Like they take all the oil out, they taken all the gas can off, whatever, and we're able to dive onto that stuff. With the paddlefish, they're a plankton eater. They just open up their mouth and they feed off of whatever's in the water.
Oh, okay.
So they're not a vicious fish.
Not
but
dangerous.
Look mean if you didn't know what they were. Your experience with the paddlefish for your first time?
I thought they were amazing. Like, I knew what to expect, so I wasn't scared about it at all. They're amazing. They're just a really cool fish.
When their mouths are closed, they look like, from the side, it looks like an old Chinese man. But when they're open their mouth, it's like a big, I'm going to say like what would you say, a bucket?
Yeah.
And what they do is they just open their mouth and they run around in circles or swim around in circles, grabbing the plankton and all the algae that's in the water. When they do that, that mouth is the size of a 5-gallon bucket and even bigger, because there's some in there that are as long as us.
Yeah, there's one today that I was right over the top of, and it was as long as I am.
So,
Wow. Wow. So
Not even gonna-
I'm curious about the tunnel dam. Did you ever actually get into the water and down on that? And what did Lindsay call it? The woolly monster lair or something like that?
Oh, woolly monster. Yes, we actually did go in there.
we didn't go. We went in there, but we never went.
Oh no, we never went.
She was wanting it because I said I was going to dive it.
Oh.
We never actually went all the way in. We went in as far as the water, and that was it.
I bet that was cold water.
The woolly monster layer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cold. Super cool.
I like the name you had for it. Thought that was neat.
Jumping Jack Flash says, I know your mission is serious, but what's the funniest thing that has happened on the road that you guys can think of?
Flying Asian car.
You're going to bring it up.
What'd you say, Eric?
Sorry, but that was hilarious.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed that. I am not afraid of fish. I am afraid of getting knocked out of the boat by a fish. Jacob begged to release that video. I let him.
We don't have to talk about that video.
Oh no, I pick it up. So,
But I'm not gonna Lindsay
on the couch tonight.
I told you not to bring it up.
There is nothing funnier than that. My ribs hurt laughing that day.
Okay.
A lot of stuff, like, unfortunately Eric doesn't get to experience it all with us. But there's not a day, I think, that like something stupid doesn't happen where, like, in the moment, like, he'll get frustrated or I get frustrated, and looking back at it, we're like, really? And like the ways that I get hurt are stupid. It's just kind of like days where it's like one thing after the other where you can't do anything but just sit back and anytime Jacob falls out of the boat is a good time.
I was gonna say, like, my husband, he's in construction, and honestly, there's not a day that almost comes by that he doesn't come home whining about, I got an owie on this finger today. I got an owie on this finger today. And I'm like, honey, and then like literally today he says to me, he goes, I got a cut on my finger and I didn't realize it till about a half an hour later. I'm just like, how do you do it, honey? Like, how do you hurt yourself? The first day, have you guys ever heard of Whistler, BC? I'm from Canada, if you didn't know that.
I
Have you heard of Whistler, BC?
No, but I could tell your accent was from Canada.
Oh, okay. Anyway, he goes up to Whistler to do some work like about a month ago, drills the screw into his fingernail.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it looked horrible.
you just got there, honey. But anyway, I was gonna say, so who was it? Was it you, Eric? Was it you that said to some other guy, I'm trying to think of that video where you said something like, oh, now I got somebody else that can bug Jacob as well, or razz Jacob as well. You said it in the video of Lindsay's.
One of the dive instructors at Springs, Lee, he's been a friend of Jacob's for a long time as well. And Lee gives Jacob a bunch of trouble every time he sees him.
Yeah.
I do that pretty routinely.
Yeah.
Hobby of mine.
Sorry, what was the last thing? Sorry, Eric, I'm sorry.
It's just a favorite hobby of mine. Brotherly poke fun at each other.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You have to have balance, right? You
Right.
have to have seriousness with the laughter to go with it. I'm a total jokester all the time, but this is obviously serious stuff that we do as well. But even on our lives, we have to always have that balance because it is deep and heavy and you have to release that, And so, yeah, and a lot of people appreciate that about the different personalities. And I'm sure. So wait, how many is actually on your team? Because is little Turtle Boy.
It's basically the three of us. Turtle Boy, if he's with us, he doesn't go out on the searches. He's still
He's a little young.
He's still a little wet behind the ears. Love him to death, but I don't want to put that on him. You know, he's
a high schooler.
So
he's a freshman in high school. So
yeah. Well, you know what? This is going to be a good segue to the next question, because Never Silence, which is one of our mods, says, what advice would you give to a young teen that sees you all as role models? My 14-year-old son wants to dive to help people. He applied for next summer to be a lifeguard at the pool to start somewhere. So what would be your advice to those that are youthful and maybe looking to go down that path?
For them to find us as role models, they got issues. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But no, I follow your dreams and do it. Yeah. Just like Lindsay said, just do it and
get the proper training.
Get the proper
so
training.
They can be safe.
And just,
so how long does it take to become a certified diver? Exactly. How much time is that?
40 hours.
Like, can you tell us the different levels to get there?
So she could probably tell you a lot more, but if you do a one-on-one, technically you're supposed to have 40 hours of training. So you can divide that up however you want, but in her circumstances, it was a one-on-one. So you could really concentrate more on your skills instead of having to.
When we had a very limited window of time, as far as fitting this into our schedule and Terrence's schedule without Jacob knowing. And
yeah,
we leave out on the road soon. So having that one-on-one opportunity, I did it. I started last week. I started Monday and I finished yesterday, but that was, a few hours every night. I think you did it over 2 weekends.
Yeah, I did it over 2 weekends when I did it. But even then, like, getting open water certified, it's enough for you to be able to go out and do the diving, yes. But that is not enough to really prepare you to deal with the zero visibility, to deal with.
Oh yeah, you don't do what we do.
There's a lot of additional training that you can
and just diving.
Yeah.
So with saying 40 hours, I guess I was wrong on that. Yeah. When you complete the training to the instructor's likings, it could take you months. If you do not complete the training and you can do it, the motor skills like that without him holding your hand, then you can pass the class.
Okay.
Would you feel comfortable? You passed the class. Would you feel comfortable going into a river with zero visibility tomorrow?
Not in current, but if it was a pond or a lake, then yeah. But that's just me.
Yeah.
I grew up swimming in ponds and dirty lakes and dirty rivers, and I think it's get as much training as you can and don't exceed your own comfort level.
Right. Absolutely, Lindsay, on that one.
Yeah, know your limits.
Yeah. Because even in your celebration video for your certification, I think Jacob was like, hey, now you can come down, look at the cars, and you're like, whoa. Well, I'll get there. Because exactly, right? That's like anything.
You need to be able to, there's a fine line in pushing yourself to better yourself, but don't push yourself to where you feel uncomfortable, and don't allow somebody else to push you either. I know, like, even just diving in the Corey the last couple days, there's this bucket thing that you can swim through. I can see perfectly. I could see them far away. I didn't want to go through it, so I didn't. Now, did I swim through the big long school bus? Yes. But that little bucket thing, for some reason, I was like, nope, I don't want to do it.
Right.
They asked, I said no. They said okay, and that was it. Like, surround yourself with people who are going to push you to be better, but not push you over the edge.
Absolutely. Right. I was going to say, because at the end of the day, I don't know, I feel like you're a lot like me. You're like, got this very caring heart, but you're very kind of feisty too, in a sense, where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything. Jacob was at That was a no, wasn't it, Jacob? No, she's not.
Yeah. Oh,
I can see it in Lindsay that she's feisty too, because I can tell by what she's saying that it's like, yeah, like, I'm gonna do my comfort zone, and that's how I am. I don't ever like to be boss or feel like I'm being pushed at something. I like to do things because I'm ready for them or do them, you
Right.
know. But some people have to learn that. Some people, I used to be a yes person back when I was younger, but over the years, as you get older, you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
I
So-
I can be for certain things, but when it comes to like, I don't do anything that I don't want to do. I mean, you can ask both of them. We've been married for 20 years. I've been essentially married to Jacob now for.
You want to say that? We have that bad enough.
It's like having two husbands, huh?
And if there's something that's happening that I don't agree with, I don't ever go against either of them. If it's something that they're like, we need to get this done, they're going to know if I don't agree with it, but I'll still do whatever I can to support them. But if I don't agree with it, I am slightly opinionated.
slight.
Yeah, you are.
Just a little bit.
Lindsay, have you ever watched me on this show?
I have watched it past, and then like when Jacob had told me about this, I started like going through more and more like in depth, and I was like, okay.
Deb's a nice, sweet one. Adam's the lovable one too. Sonny's the feisty one, because it's like I said, I have a purpose. No one's gonna ever take away from me who I am as a person ever. I know who I am, what I stand for. That's something that nobody can ever take away. So when people try to, it only hurts me that people go out of their way to try to do things like that. They're not, sure, it does bug you sometimes that you're just like, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to leave ignorant comments? Like, why can't you just be a nice person and say thank you for all the information, or thank you for having chaos divers on, or instead of like, less chitter chatter, and it's just like, come on. I mean, that's even a nicer comment, but
that's something that all three of us are pretty similar on, and sometimes we get it, but we all remind each other of it. Nobody makes me feel anything except myself. Like you can come at me with whatever, but I'm the only person that can allow you to make me feel a certain way.
absolutely.
Exactly.
And I think we do build each other up. I mean, there's definitely times where we're with each other enough that, like, we say things that we probably don't mean or whatever, but at the same time, like at the end of the day, like I've got their backs and I know they have mine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's how
We
we
both
do
say
it.
the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do that. That's how we are too.
We're talking about comments on the YouTube and the Facebook. They're just words, and a lot of people are keyboard warriors. I don't care what they think of the things that I do. It's the channel that I decide what goes on and what doesn't. And, I just hope that people support what it is that we do and try not to knock us down.
Absolutely. And sadly, unfortunately, because we won't get into that too much, but sadly, unfortunately, those people will always be there. But I have the power to block you. I have the power to delete your comment. I have all that power because I will not put up with a subscriber or a follower that does talk like that. I will get rid of you. That's how much you mean to me, because I want people that are supporting us, that feel the love and the care of other people. We don't need those people in our lives, and they're sure not welcome in my environment. That's for sure. And, we just had one today earlier, actually, and it was just like, finally, I've given you a chance, blocked. It was a long leash. I normally block before that, but go ahead. What were you going to say? Someone was going to say something there.
And somebody wants to try to be mean in a comment, to be extremely petty, and Lindsay is better with words than anybody I've ever met. So you can make them feel extremely small in just a couple of sentences. Everyone,
and you can do it you can do that in a nice way and get your point across. Absolutely.
Well, it's went to the extent of, I had a huge supporter, to the point of donating $100 a month, saying, I'm not going to channel because she's narrating. Well, guess what? See ya. And I blocked her.
Absolutely.
There's no reason.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Just because you're donating doesn't give you a right to, if you want to not follow, right. Exactly. Don't do it. No one's twisting your arm, but that's just ignorant and that's just rude. Sometimes I get those comments here where it's like, someone just said it today. Oh, and actually it was a good name too, by the way. So there's Deb and Adam and me, Sunny. So the person was like, well, can't you be nicer? Well, you just literally told me that I got mad at you, which was so untrue. But she just kept venting and saying ignorant stuff. And then she goes, DNA sounds really good. Really? It's my channel, but it was a good title though. DNA.
Yeah, Deb and Adam. I like it.
Right? It was
I think we'll go with it.
Lindsay, I usually have to give that honor to Deb, because if you let me at some of those comments, I'd be blocking probably a lot more people. So Deb is the one.
Yeah.
I'll send Deb in and I'll be like, Deb, you and Adam have nicer words than I do. So I try to actually ignore some of the comments just for that reason, because it just like, why do you come on here? Why don't you be grateful and thankful that you're getting free information? No one's forcing you to do anything. So you're coming to get information. So
it's hard. I do find myself, like, every once in a while, like I'll go on and, kind of defend myself, but I actually find myself defending them more than myself. Like, if somebody has something to say, negative light, at the end of the day, Jacob has given up everything to go help somebody else. There's people out there who have, they have 10 of something and they won't share with you. Jacob could have 1 of something and it's yours. And to me, world of so much ugly, just be nice.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Is it so hard, people? It's not.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why personally I have a hard time, because in my world, in my bubble, people should be like kind and caring and do things for others and help others. It really is such a self-gratifying thing to know that you've helped somebody, or sometimes when you go in that Tim Hortons lineup, you go, I'm going to get the coffee and whatever that person's purchasing behind you, just because I can. Just because I
love doing that.
I know. It's like the best.
I love doing that. Yeah, because it makes them happy. It makes you happy. And I've noticed that the workers, they get excited and they're like, oh, good. I get to be part of this.
That's
so fun. That's like a public service thing, which brings me to a question I've had. You guys on some of your videos talked about, preaching to people and young people not drinking and driving because of what could happen. Some of these people that you found have ended up in the water because of that. And I'm wondering if you ever go to schools or anything and speak to the kids, or if you thought about doing that.
So we're going to say we've never made assumptions. Well, I guess we kind of have. If it was because of driving, I think we've got a couple scheduled for libraries to go talk to. And, we haven't been home enough to do that stuff. I would love to sit there and have a seminar and talk to the kids and kind of point them in the right direction. But currently there's 153,000 people go missing a year or something like that.
Oh my.
It's devastating, and we try to help as many people as we can, which Eric, Eric, when we're in about 100 mile to 200 mile radius, he will do his best to get there if I need him. And it's amazing. So with his support and with Lindsay always being with me, we're just always on the road, and it's kind of hard to establish a so.
And
I would imagine it would be very difficult.
Well, I was going to say, this is where YouTube becomes very, like when, although there's a lot of darkness on the internet, it also has a lot of great features, and you can reach and touch a lot of people that you could have never done before. Social media can make you or break you, to be honest with you, but it's such a powerful tool to have at your disposal, that you can have Twitter, all these different things to make more people aware of what you do and who you are. So, meaning it's come a long way for definitely sure, for, well, like I said, like your channel is what? How many? About 170K, is it? Something like that? 170K subscribers on your channel about Jacob?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So where was that number last year in comparison? I can't remember when it was.
So when I met Jacob in March, he had just over 13,000 subscribers. He was very proud of that, as he should be. Again, I had no idea this side of YouTube existed. I didn't know what a subscriber was, and I was like, I don't care. Can you help me? So that's when I met him. I want to say by the time we hit the road in September, he probably had about 40,000. So from March to September, about 30 or 40,000. And then we had that first solved case of Charles. And from there, kind of skyrocketed. And then, it leveled back out. But then he had another solved case and another solved case. And that consistency of him being successful and helping these families was being proven over and over. And that steady growth has happened. So he's just shy of 170,000 right now. So, in a year and a half, so to grow 100.
That's a lot. That's a good,
153,000 subscribers, 157,000 subscribers is incredible.
Really, exactly. And those are the people. Go ahead.
With what she just said on that is like, finding Charles. Okay, we had no information. We were just going on different spots where it could have been. And with Greg and Josh Hammond helping us out, they sent us on that spot. Okay, so when we went over there and we found his vehicle, it was amazing. Okay, not a fluke, right? We found that vehicle. And then the next solved case, it's like, man, we can actually do this. And then from there on, it was like my confidence and her confidence and even his with reading the sonars has gotten extraordinary. Like, we're not just a regular sonar team. Some of the sonar teams, Team Waters is a huge exception because he will tell you if there's a pebble or a knife on the floor surface. Okay. But with everybody else, it's like they don't dive on these vehicles. They're not doing it every single day like we are. It is rare that we're even home right now. Like, we're not even home. We're diving. Can't get away from diving, can I?
Not now.
You guys were in Kansas and Missouri, and Idaho, I think you said. And so, sorry, Iowa, my bad. Canadian, forgive me.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, sorry about that. But so you guys got back when? Like in July, was it? Or June?
A couple of days ago.
Okay.
So we got back. We went out on the road May and June. We went out on the road again for 2 weeks in July, and then we left August 1st and came back last weekend.
Did you guys end up going up as well to I'm trying to remember. Did you guys end up going to Kylie Rodney's spot or no? Didn't go there? I wasn't sure if you guys did or not, actually.
Yeah, so it's not to, because there wasn't we had already made commitments to families. So with knowing that adventure going out, we chose to to keep those commitments to the families that we had made, because we weren't, not that we weren't needed, and we let them know if they needed any help, we would be there in an instant.
Yeah.
But we had made commitments that we felt were just as important.
Absolutely.
Confidence in AWP, you know, and their abilities there. So
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
With where they went out, their commitments were already met on what they were doing. So they had, on their adventure back, they were able to make that type of journey to help out.
Right.
But,
yeah.
What were you getting ready to say?
I don't know.
Okay.
He was still focused on that little pebble and knife. So where are you guys going? When are you guys leaving on your next adventure?
Next week, Monday.
Okay.
September 24th or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. And so what's your sorry, Deb, go ahead.
No, 25th. Sunday's the 25th.
Oh, okay. And so when
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So how many like what's your map that you have going for that? Thank you, subscriber.
Sorry.
What's your kind of timeline there going on?
So we'll leave. We have to be home by October 30th. That's our son's birthday. So we are looking at 38 cases in 28 different cities.
Wow.
We'll probably end up narrowing that down a little bit based on time restraints and where we feel is that we can be the most helpful. There's a few places, 38 cases, 28 cities. So obviously Pittsburgh has 4 cases that we're looking at. So if that's something where we can kind of help 4 at once, then that's something that we'll look into. We're returning to some cases, and then we'll be going northeast and then down the East Coast, down to the south, and then back up home this next trip.
So you guys don't get much of snow? A little bit?
Of snow?
Yeah.
Sometimes we get a large amount of snow.
We don't, where we live, we don't get much. If we get it, it's usually gone within a week or two. We hover just above freezing most of the winter.
Okay. Because I was just going to ask you about that. Do you guys get any, only because the world has been shifting. Like in Vancouver, Canada, we don't get much.
Vicious snowstorms, but for the most part, no.
And say month of February, and then after that, it's done.
Yeah.
So when is your guys' takeoff time? Because is there a little bit there, like you said? Like when you kind of rest at home for a bit?
Pretty much when we're home. We try to be home for at least 2-3 weeks at a time, if not a month. But even in that time, when we came home in June, we were supposed to be home from the end of June until the beginning of August, and we ended up leaving for another week and a half because there was a family that needed us. So it's kind of one of those things where we try to be, gone for a month and a half, and then home for a month or so. We try to balance it out, but if somebody needs us or we can help, then we go.
Okay.
Just kind of case in South Carolina, we were actually going to be home for that month, and she had presented it to me, and I had looked at it, and I said, I think we all agreed on it that we could help this family out. So we went down and brought them home.
Oh, that's nice. I was going to say, Deb, okay, Lisa, I cannot play that. Jacob, do you remember this? Okay, I made a tribute video before AWP was, I joined them when they were about 600 subscribers. And so anyways, I made this tribute video, and I'm not going to play it, but the funniest damn thing, if you ever watched it, which I sent it to you, you got out of the boat and I had a seal beside you because you looked like a seal getting out. and you were and Jared made you get out of the boat, and he's like, now the boat's moving, and and then you went to shore and your feet kept getting stuck, and you literally looked like a seal. So I had a seal clip playing right beside you because this seal was making the exact same movement. Do you remember that?
So that was searching for someone in the Grand Miami, in Ohio. I cannot remember the woman's name, but she was missing in a red convertible, a red sports car. We had dove on some spots. Well, Jared and we were going to push off, and I was going to be his diver. This is kind of when we first pretty much started working cases together. My brother-in-law was with us. Anyway, we pushed off. We thought we had enough room, and we didn't. And he's like, Jacob, you're going to have to get out. I mean, I'm 200 pounds, 200 plus. Right now, I'm almost 300. So regardless, when I got out, the boat started moving because the boat crashed. And what it was happening was every time I took a step, I would get stuck. Well, in quicksand, if you sprawl out, you can get out of quicksand. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to stay as large as possible and just scoop. So I pretty much did the worm all the way back.
Yes.
Well, that's a talent in itself, be able to do the worm.
You have to understand, like a Canadian seal does that same movement. So it was one of those funnies to me. I was like, poor Jacob, he's sitting there trying to make it, and he's getting stuck in the mud, and he's trying to make it to shore. Meanwhile, Jared's like in the boat, like it's moving.
I don't care if you got it and you want to play it. I really don't care if you want. You can play it.
No. Well, that was it's in part of the AWP tribute video that I had done for them. So that's all good. They already had their day last week or whatever. This is about you guys. And Deb, did you have some more questions? Because I know we're going to let them go right soon here.
Yeah. Jumpin' Jack Flash had a really good question. That was, how was your interaction with law enforcement been? Is it positive, problematic? Do you get, a lot of cooperation? How's that going?
With 95 to 98% of the interactions with law enforcement has been super amazing. They've been super supportive, and they appreciated us finding their lost loved one, finding their, solving the case. But there's been a few that's been kind of off kilter, and she can talk about that if she.
There was a couple where I think that they just didn't understand our background in doing this. So there were times where we were asked to leave a scene or something like that, and I think they just didn't take the time to understand what it is that we do, and that this is something that we do. And that for us, we understand the importance of closed video, but at the same time, like being that representation for the family and remaining, on scene. So for the most part, it's been really great. But anytime that we're asked like to leave or said they want to take over, which is totally fine if they have their own dive teams, we're great with that. We just always want to be on scene to be that voice for the voiceless and to be that representation for the family. So it's more heartbreaking than it is, infuriating if we're not allowed to at least be present.
Right.
With the service that we provide from getting their stories out, this service that we do, this is all free for them, for the families. We are representing the families first and foremost. They're the most important thing in this whole equation. Yes, will we side by side with law enforcement? Absolutely. Will we work against law enforcement? Absolutely not. For them to give us pushback really sucks, but we understand it because of protocols. But still, if they knew what we were doing and how we were doing, just like she said, everything would be fine.
I have a fun question. Question. We've had a lot of, excuse me, a lot of heavy ones. So in our house, dinner time kind of goes like this. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? No, you decide. I decided last week. Does that happen with the three of you?
I don't care where we go. Food is just fuel.
It's ridiculous. I eat to get full.
The problem is that they say find a restaurant. But I don't care. So then if I pick a restaurant, I don't want that. Genre. Do you want Italian? Do you want Mexican? Do you want, well, now I can say Mongolian. Do you want Chinese? Like, at least give me a direction. It's never that. It's just find a place. So I just try to find places that are big enough to park the RV. That's what I look for in a restaurant. Does the parking lot fit the RV?
And boat.
Perfect.
So, are you guys sick of like restaurant food? Like, do you guys eat a lot of it, or do you guys actually eat a lot out of your camper there or your RV there?
I'd say 50-50. So there's some trips where like we cook dinner every night, and then there's some trips where we eat breakfast in the RV, and then we actually don't eat lunch hardly ever. But then we go out for dinner, because there's times where, you know, we don't get off the water till 9-10 o'clock at night. I don't want to cook. He doesn't want to cook. When Eric's with us, he doesn't want to cook. So it's just
I hate cooking. Ask my husband.
It's a 50-50 mix. It just depends. Some trips we eat a lot in here. Sometimes we don't.
So let's clarify something. We're not the team that wakes up at 7 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock in the morning.
No, you two are not the team. It doesn't wake.
We'll wake up at 8 or 9 and work all night and all day and all night. We're not the 9 to 5 people. We're the we'll wake up in the morning and we won't stop until that sun is completely down. Sometimes even we have our flashlights out.
Yeah.
So
I was wondering about that. Like when you guys have done some, like I said, pulling the cars up out of the water and stuff like that, and then it's nighttime, and I'm thinking, like, what's your visibility like down there? Nothing. Or does it actually does the flashlight actually? I don't know. I don't know.
So it's always dark underwater. Depending on the clarity of the water and the turbidity of the sun coming through the water, generally you can't see anyway, but then you got your flashlight. So your flashlight illuminates more than what you think. Like, you shine a light down through a hallway. If you got the clarity, you're going to see all the way down that hallway in the water. But mainly it's just the light gives you a little comfort that there's something that you're looking at, because you can't see nothing. So when you turn that light on, it gives you the comfort of the darkness turning just a little bit brown. And every now and then you get to see a speck of something. So it's not like you're in the complete darkness.
Okay. Eric, I've been dropping your link a few times. So if anyone, just first, I dropped Turtle Boy's link in the chat. I've dropped Eric's in there. Ride or Dive channel in there. If you guys haven't subscribed or you're watching this video later, could you do so? Give them the support and the love. It's always great to. I seen like Turtle Boy go from, he was at 800 yesterday, 828 or something, and then I looked earlier today and all of a sudden it was like at 1100. So it's I know, because you know how it is, once you need 1,000 subscribers and like 4,000 hours, type of thing to kind of get to that part if you wanted to monetize or whatever with it. But good for him, and same with you, Eric, as well. And Lindsay, one day you'll start your own, perhaps.
I actually not. I don't have any interest in it, which is
I was gonna say it's not your thing.
way at all. Like, I love what I do. I love who I get to do it with.
Yeah.
I love all of that. I feel like I'm better
No passion.
in different ways than
Yeah.
having my own. I
Yeah.
can help you. So again, I actually don't like being on camera.
You know, I know.
Yeah.
So I really want to
But
say, because like I really appreciate it. What are you going to say, Deb?
she's such a natural. Like, I don't know why you don't like it. You are such a natural. When I hear
Deb.
you speak and watch you, you're so, looks like you're so calm and
Thank
confident.
Meanwhile, she's like, "Get me off of this thing." Get me off. you know, for me too, it's just like, well, for me, I actually had no problem going even on camera, even though I wasn't used to it. It was about what I could do. So even if that road's not your passion for that, and right, it's one of those things. You give me an ear, I can talk to anybody. That's all you need.
No.
All I need is an ear. No, but I like the fact of that personality, because I can easily talk to someone. I don't care if it's a I don't know, whatever social event can come. Weddings bore the heck out of me, but I could go into them and talk with somebody, no problem. Like, hey, how you doing? And it's not for attention. It's just because I'm sociable that way, whereas not everyone is like that. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Like I said, go ahead, Jacob.
Sorry. What I like about your channel, there's several out there who have asked if we would go and do a live chat like this, and you're really true. You've really highlighted who we are, and you're doing it for the right reasons, and that's really amazing that you're trying to get the word out for our team. And I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Let me put it this way.
You're
When
welcome.
I seen you say those words to me, they meant a lot, because I always love it when somebody sees my heart for the pureness that it has. So I thank you for coming on and doing this, because it really truly means a lot to me that people with those same hearts, I could care less about any more like the subscribers or anything from this whatsoever. And I'm so sorry that it's not got Delphi murders and brought in, because normally there's about 200 or 300 people in here type of thing. But at the end of the day, it's because, for me, this means a lot, because you guys and AWP and Gonzo are people that I've admired from the start of when I even got involved in this. And I get it, because nobody, in a sense, like AWP is huge now, of course, but they, and they were growing too. But that whole Kylie Rodney case just happened. Everyone wanted to know about that case recently and stuff like that, So I'm feeling disappointed, like I let you guys down, because the numbers just aren't there right now. The views,
The
might pick
rewatch
up.
will be. The
Right.
rewatch will be.
So I
The
just
So with Jared, he at AWP, he may be big. He's still Jared. I'm still,
he's still Jared.
He's still Lindsay. He's still
Yes.
Eric.
Yeah.
Just regular people that
Mhm.
are trying to do our best to help families, and we're nobody special.
But you are, though.
We're
You
just
are. It's wrong, though, but you are special. And the reason I say you are special is because there's not a lot of people out there in the world. This world is, we know, full of a lot of self-absorbed people, and people that don't put this stuff out there. So no, you are special, because to me you're special. Absolutely. Because again, not everyone does these things. And so I find that it's a beautiful thing to do. And I just wish that more people did it, to be honest with you. So yeah, you are special. Okay, just take it.
Thank
Take it. You're welcome. I know you guys got to get going. Eric, and we'll start with Eric. Eric, is there anything at all that you've thought about or wanted to say or wanted to shout out to your channel? Doesn't matter. Anything at all that maybe we didn't cover that you would like to say? It's up to you.
Just
Besides saying you want to go for dinner.
no. The only thing that It was something I heard from football. Try to be a little bit better every day. It doesn't matter what it is, like, improve yourself, make your situation better, do something to help somebody. Just be a little bit better every day.
Beautiful. What about you, Lindsay?
My biggest thing is always thank you to everyone for supporting Jacob, for allowing him to do what it is that he's meant to do. I can never say thank you enough to everybody who believes in him, and thank you to him for allowing me to go on this journey with him. There are days where I think he would be okay dropping me and my suitcases off on a corner. I can't imagine now doing anything else, and I can't imagine doing it with anybody else. So I just thank you to him, and thank you to everybody who supports him, and other channels like you guys who support what it is that he does and believing in him. And so thank you.
Again, Jacob, what about you over there? You already buttered me up. Now, what else you got?
Well, there's I'm just going to be flat out with you, and I don't care who. There's a lot of people out there who are just in it for the views and for the money, and I particularly don't care for them. I have watched your videos a lot. I knew who you was, and when you had asked for me to come on, I was honored. It was nice because I knew that you weren't out there for the views. But what I hope that somebody takes from this is, like I always say, keep diving. It's not where to stop. That means keep pushing in life. It's going to get better. And if it doesn't, like it always has to get better. Just don't give up. Just keep pushing in life, and the struggles and tribulations. Yeah.
Tribulations. Yeah.
Yeah.
This year has been phenomenal between this team. We have went through highs and complete lows. But we've always came out on top, and we always put families first. Even if I had to rent a truck, that's what we would do. If I had like I said, truck, we were going to rent a truck if we couldn't get the RV fixed. But like, we borrowed a boat to continue to search. We did whatever we could. We kept pushing. We're not going to let these little things get to us. That just keep pushing in life.
Absolutely. The comment that's below is a good friend of ours. His name is Steve from True Crime Web. He's a retired LE officer that did crime scene investigations and different things. He has a lot of. Yeah. Have you seen him before? Yeah. And anyway, so he
good
says
guy.
he's a great guy. Not that you probably need assistance. You know what? I'm going to take this back. Steve, I love you, but because honestly, I didn't say your name at the start along with Gonzo's and that, but CD and Steve, you guys know, I just like honesty and purity in people, and I can smell those people a mile away. So when you say that, Jacob, about when people are in it for the wrong reasons or money or this and that, I smell them a mile away, right? And each to their own, what they want to do or how they do their channels. I just know that it's nothing that I personally respect, because I always feel like caring about other people should always come first. And with that comes success. And that's why you guys will have it. That's why AWP has it. That's why Gonzo, that's why Steve in his channel will have it, because they're doing it for the right reasons. And that will always be where the success will grow from it. And to me, that's the most beautiful thing. So, it's just the way it is. That's the bottom line.
If you have an attribute, if you have not backups, but if you have resources that would be good for a team like us that you can provide, that's what I see. But if some people just sit at their homes and not do a thing and hit the Kylie Rogers case, or Rodney, I'm sorry.
Rodney, yeah.
Rodney case, just because it's the name. And that doesn't fit well with me. I'm not saying a lot of people are doing it. What I'm saying is every big name that comes up, that's what they pry on for weeks and weeks.
Yes.
And never let it go.
Yeah.
That's just looking for views, and I don't like it. So that's how
yeah, because we could erode some of those cases. We touched on a couple of them because there were people that were asking us about them. But honestly, it's not our route to do that. Because you're right. Some people just ride it, and even to the point that I'm sick of seeing it. You know, and so, no, but honestly, and it's just like they'll like kind of like, you guys remember Chris Watts, and it's just like I'm so sick of hearing. I would not even cover that guy's case whatsoever, because this guy literally, I mean, there's a lot of bad people out there, but this guy literally killed his three children, his wife, and he wanted to, you know, that narcissistic personality where it's almost like everyone's giving him attention, and he's like signing autographs in jail here. You know, anybody else want it? And it was just sickening to me. And I would not cover that guy's case whatsoever. No respect at all. I mean, the guy was just so full of himself. Can't handle that stuff. So yeah.
Every little like, oh man, we can go viral with this video. Let's throw out Kylie's name. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Unless you have a validation of speaking with somebody who was involved in that, or just going over the subject is not cool with me.
Yeah. You know, and like I said, I mean, if today's title had Delphi in it, I'm not about to use Delphi to get people to come in here and watch it. They'll watch it again. This will hit a lot of views, but even though the subscribers are down now, it's just because again they're used to us covering Delphi.
Yeah.
But again, I refuse to, or we refuse to, as people, like I said, clickbait, put anything in the title that's deceptive to people. You know, just have to keep it real. And, you know, so anyways, that's enough about all that stuff.
Right.
We want to thank you guys so much for joining us. Jacob, Lindsay, Eric, honestly, meant so much. Eric, I know you look bored right now, but I'm going to let you go soon. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I was just waiting for this big smile to come across your face. No, Lindsay, again, congratulations on getting your open water dive certificate there, and best to all three of you. And stay safe. And anything else you want to say, Deb, before we let them go?
I just want to say it's been a total honor to be able to speak with you guys today. And I had so many thoughts in my mind of things I wanted to ask you, because it's such an intriguing and important thing that you do. And I just want to encourage you to continue to do that. And you guys will be in my prayers. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. What was his name?
Adam?
The True Crime Web?
True Crime Web. Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah.
Steve, thank you for offering that. I didn't hear that you were offering your services. Thank you so much for that. Other than that, guys, I really appreciate you guys having us on, and this was a great way to get out what we do. So thank you so much.
Can you guys say hi to Adam? Like, hey Adam, I'm sorry you're at Elton John and miss this. Sorry, Adam.
We don't feel sorry for him. He's at Elton John.
Yeah.
He was upset though. He wanted to meet you guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like I made you guys all my family right now. Lindsay, I love you. Eric, I guess I kind of love you too, I suppose, and men, but no. No, just kidding. You guys, thank you so much for everything you do. Thanks for coming on, and you guys have a great night. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All righty. Thank you. It was so nice. And then I guess we're gonna get out of here too in a second.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Jacob. Hello. Wasn't that so nice, you guys?
Oh my gosh, they're such wonderful people. I love them.
I was so happy to see three of them all of a sudden, because I did say to Jacob, like, hey, if there's anybody else you want to come on, like, feel free. It was a real pleasure seeing Jacob, Eric, and Lindsay on there. And I mean,
Exactly.
she's not like me at all.
I
At
was
all.
listening to her describe it. I'm like, whoa, that
I know.
sounds
I'm
like fun.
like, I'm like, Sonny, is that you? Yeah.
Well, there's
Um,
three wonderful people, and I really enjoyed listening to them.
yeah, me too. And then and Jacob too, um him too reminded me of myself, just it meant a lot when he said that to me, to be honest, and I hope he realizes that when he
Yeah,
said
how
like,
sweet was that? That was
well,
so sweet.
because it's the same way that we think. Um, it, you know how I think about that is that, like I
Yeah,
said, if you're not true and pure, I don't care about you. I don't really want you because we want the people that, like I said, that you can tell that are in it for the right reasons. That's where it's important. Um, and that's where people will, like I said, um, each to their own what they do. But it just
right.
reminded me so much too of myself, and it just sorry, Adam, so sorry that you couldn't.
He was sad. He was so sad. He begged us to try to get it changed.
Yeah. Steve, do you have time to come on for a few moments? Let me know in the chat if you want to come on for a few moments, Steve. Just let me know and I'll drop the link for you.
And then I'm going to have to go in a little
Minutes.
bit
Yeah.
because I have a
Yeah.
huge
No
day
problem.
going to Michigan for soccer tomorrow. So,
Oh, right. That's
yeah,
right. I know you've been so busy with all that stuff too.
I know
Um,
it is. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. And if you can't, Steve, that's fine. But I just want to say too, what an amazing person Steve is from True Crime Web. Always willing to help people out where he can.
Yeah,
And yeah. So
yeah.
this is
He and Mrs. Steve are sweet, real people who really care,
absolutely. Oh, you're
and you
making
can tell that. Like you can watch them for 2 minutes and see how sincere they are. And I really
absolutely.
respect both of them.
Yeah, I know. I like the fact that I can judge people right away. It's like a gift, you know? Because I don't like wasting my
Well,
time. Well, no. um, and and I got a lot to do. My husband, he's over. Him and his brother are over at the work theater. Because remember how I tell you that they're over there watching Game of Thrones right now, and
no,
I'm just like, perfect, enjoy that. So let's see. The real truth, Adam couldn't. Oh, what's Lisa saying? The real truth is Adam couldn't get his beard game going on in time, so it didn't come live. Yeah. Oh,
right?
okay, Steve. Yeah, Steve. Hey, I'll give you two, Steve. How's that? Two. No, two. It's not chop chop. No, just kidding. Just give me a sec, guys. Just making sure. Hold on. Anybody else want to say love you to my husband? Love you, honey. Okay. Just making sure
Hey,
he's
Steve
good.
Austin.
Yeah. Hey, Steve Austin. We're not having fun without you, honey. I swear. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I know. I need to get him to come on live again. Sometimes I just like to have him come on, show his face. And then, yeah. And because, again, if anyone doesn't know, I met my husband gaming. He's from England. And I rock a 32-year-old, by the way. So get jelly. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I love my husband. He's an amazing man. You know, like you said, how we were talking about, like I said, how people build you up and stuff like that. Well, my husband always builds me up. He never tries to ever tear me down. And that's how I feel about people in chat. It's so great to have you guys that are our constant followers that are just supportive. And even if you have a difference of opinions and stuff like that, you guys all get along just great, and which means a lot. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, we
absolutely.
really are blessed in that area that our
Really?
viewers are intelligent. They don't bicker back and forth. They have
It's so
amazing
rare.
ideas and theories, and um, we're very
Yeah.
blessed.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, I love the fact that this channel has very little drama going on in it. It doesn't mean a lot because I see some of those other ones too, and it just gets ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? Because at the end of the day, we're all here to be caring about each other and kind, and
Yeah, and the thing is too that all that drama just takes away from the cases that need our attention. You know, if I got to tell you, if this channel was just talking about, was just bad mouthing people all day, and that was the main focus, I would not be on here. You know, I don't want to do that. I want to bring light to these cases and help in any way we can and support the families.
Absolutely. Just Steve, just so you know, Steve, I did drop you the link. You know, because we'll get Deb out of here. Right?
Yeah, I want to say hi to Steve. I want to be here for a few minutes and say hi to my Steve friend.
Sounds great.
And then I gotta hop off, unfortunately.
Yeah. So
yeah,
again,
thanks for subscribing to Chaos too, Chaos Divers. Several people in the chat said, "Oh, I just subscribed. And now Ride or Dive too.
I was gonna say Ride or Dive, and don't forget Turtle Boy. I'm just gonna post their links again in here.
You know, subscribe to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to them all. But let's little Turtle Boy there. I shouldn't call him Little Turtle Boy, but I'm gonna call him Little Turtle Boy on there.
Yeah.
But it means so much, especially to those young ones, you know, that start getting their followers going and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see here. Let me go back. Start getting their followers going and Thinker. Oops, no, that was just me. Yeah, I accidentally hit the wrong thing. And so,
you know, I was going to ask Jacob too, and his last name is the same as one of my friends' last name. I was going to ask, are you related to them? But I forgot to do that.
Yeah, well, you did, didn't you?
Yeah, the young man on our soccer team, actually, his last name's Grubbs. He's a great soccer player too. We had a great game Saturday. We had a great game. We won. My son scored. I was so excited for him. He had an excellent defensive game too.
Yeah. Nice. He plays tomorrow, right?
He does. Yeah. Yep. We have to go to Michigan.
Yeah. How far is that again, Deb? Michigan? Like, I know where it is on the map.
Well, the area of Michigan that we go to tomorrow is only about 3.5 hours away. But I mean, it can be as much as 5, you know, or more. But the area in Michigan that we're going to, Adrian College in Adrian, Michigan.
Adrian, Michigan? Never heard of that, actually.
Yeah. Yep.
You guys, your husband's going too, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's not retired though, right?
Oh, no. He's not.
No. Yeah.
No.
Because how old's your husband? Is he like?
Yeah, I don't tell ages. I'm not going to tell ages.
How long till he retires?
He's not retired. And he works. He's a worker.
Deb, I don't know why you don't tell.
He never stops.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't tell people your age. I mean, 29 is a pretty good age to be still. Right?
Right?
Yeah,
well,
right?
You know, if I was 21 like you.
I know. I'm so jealous.
There's our friend Steve.
Hello.
Look at you got your call. I like how he just slides in there and like.
Oh, hold on.
Uh-oh, we got an echo.
Yeah, I got the echo.
There's our friend Steve.
Well, let me try again.
It was me.
Okay.
There
we go. How are you, Steve?
Y'all scared me there when she put that up there, and then everybody started talking about these channels that weren't in it for the right reason. I said, "Oh my goodness, they're about to get me."
Yeah, I know. Steve.
You are totally in it for the perfect reason.
You know you're in it for the right reasons. Yeah.
I thought, what have I done?
I know, right? Oh, actually, what is today? Today's Sunday. Yeah, yes. Today's Sunday. Yeah. So what's going on in your world on the Sunday?
I was on 3 shows yesterday, 2 other than mine. And so I was just absolutely wore out but I went out and did some control testing today. Got a lot done, and looking forward to a good week.
Awesome.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Whose shows were you on?
I was on Mob Crew
Mhm.
with Chris, of course, and then last night it was the Unsolved with Allie. She has a show,
Uh-huh.
and it went well. I enjoyed the time with her.
Yeah. More than
Great.
me? Ooh.
No,
Oh,
but I can tell you this now. I hadn't seen you in a few days, but you have lost weight.
sure. Me?
Yes.
Oh,
She
you're
does
right.
look.
I mean, in a couple of days, it's maybe it's the color I'm wearing, perhaps, Steve.
You
But the
look great.
hairstyle and the shirt, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you know what? Let's go with that, guys. Yeah, I feel like I lost 50 pounds in about 2 days now. Is that I'm not sure if that's too fast. But yeah,
Now,
no,
that's just my. But that's. I mean,
it's
well, it
all good.
certainly looks that way to me.
I know it really just depends what I wear and what I'm whatever, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, some days I sport 3 chins, other days 2. I don't know. Today
You're
is
so
maybe like
funny.
1.5. No, just kidding. But anyways, thank you.
No,
Um,
no,
yeah,
no.
I really thank you. I was gonna wear blue today, but you know what? But then I thought about it and I'm like, well, wait a second here. Red looks good on me, first of all. Everyone keeps saying it. And not only that, but I mean, because of the chaos divers too. And I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Steve, had you heard of the chaos divers, honestly? Be truthful now. Have you heard of them before?
No, I had
And
seen where people referenced them, but I just today is the first time watching them and everything, and I've got to get over there and sub to them now because I
yeah,
support anyone that, like I said, I
has a
remember back in the day before there was dive teams, and we were out there dragging, and which is that's the only system we had back 30 years ago. To make recoveries. And I watched these guys come in and they'd pop up and they say, you're asking them, were you able to see anything? They're talking about zero visibility, that they're down there 30, 40 feet searching by hand and, and trying to recover a victim. And I always has my, have utmost respect for people that do that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's beautiful work. Like I said, I mean, people like it's kind of like like when Doug was on too from AWP, like I know that they're doing a bunch of shows and that because they got, like the whole Kylie thing going on and that at the time as well. But I don't think that probably most people grasp. For me, there's very few people in this world that I admire, like to me. And again, when I see people that are above that level, in a sense, that mean a lot to me. That's what having chaos divers, that's what having AWP, that's like having Gonzo and Cop Facts, and including yourself now, Steve, because like I said, we've come to know you over this time. But when you see pure hearts that just really care and they're in it because they of their beautiful hearts for the right reasons, to me, it's an honor to be in your guys' presence because I understand where that type of love and care comes from. So does Deb. Obviously Adam, who can't speak for himself today, but yeah. But you know what I mean. It does mean a lot, and no matter what, no matter how much you grow successful past this channel, that you're gonna remember us. No, but no,
Oh, y'all are so far ahead of me. It'd take a long time. But
I don't think so.
doing what you do, Steve, like I said, just like chaos divers and stuff like that, it again, just success. Ours will get success, and for the fact of going about it, whatever what we deem is the right way or the ethical way or moral way or whatever, just like you will too. But you know what? You have something that we don't, which is you have the expertise in the crime field. This is true crime. So we absolutely, like, I would be a fool if I didn't understand that, when you have the expertise, people are going to come to you. People are going to want that knowledge. You know, I, I've only managed to catch a few minutes of your lives here and there. But you do such a great job, even in the time that I was watching one the other day for about 10 or 15 minutes. You lay out a nice format. Again, you're
Thank you.
doing a
Thank you.
good job. Doing a good
Thank
job.
you. I
Yeah, you
appreciate
have
it.
a tremendous knowledge base. It just amazes me when I watch your videos, and I watch almost every single one of your lives, but sometimes I'm doing it, listening as I'm working, and so I'm not able to chat. But I just am amazed at everything that you can talk upon and bring so much like intelligent thought to it. And I guess that comes from years of doing what you did.
No, that was at the great expense of the government training me to, to take me at what level I had of education. But I do have a certain desire that I've dealt and seen so much tragedy by people, that these animals upon good people, and I absolutely have no use for them. And I've enjoyed bringing justice to what little part of my life I've had to be able to do that. But I want to make it more part of my life as I age. I've only got a few more good years in me, as far as being active.
Right.
And my mind's not like what it once was. As you age, you lose certain edges.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Jenny said, she said, Steve, I have one question. I need one direct answer. Steve, can you be hired on to work a case?
no, I work volunteer only. And if you have a case, and if I can help in any shape, form, or fashion, send me the information. I'll look at it, give you my honest 2 cents of what we can do with it. All information be confidential. I'll not use it for any gains unless you wish to bring those memories and promote that case. Then otherwise it's all confidential, and I'll work just as hard on your case as I will anyone that wishes to put their family's story up there, because it's through some of these stories that I support or will be supporting my channel. And it's but it doesn't matter. If you give me your case information, I'll most certainly look at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then Alexa says, I don't agree. Those people aren't animals. Animals are kind. Those are monsters. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
How did you feel? So, Alexa, you beautiful lady, you gorgeous lady and a gorgeous heart.
She is so beautiful.
I know.
Like, I had in my mind what I thought Alexa looked like, and she was like 10 times more beautiful.
Yeah, I knew you were beautiful all along. Does that count, Alexa? Yeah. But anyways, what did you think? What did you think of that live with Alexa on it the other night there? Did you get to watch it?
I got in there for a few minutes, and but no, I didn't get to see much of it. Extremely intelligent lady.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about the profiler, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I came in late, and I watched some of it, and then I had to go. What was I doing? I can't remember.
Making coffee.
We are so busy. I'm talking to so many people, and I'm trying to get. I'm so far behind because I have such a great community that, just like what Journey asked about, that because I'm on the computer, hours upon hours trying to answer the emails, trying to answer the chat or the comments, and I've been so fortunate of how people have supported me and allowed me to buy the equipment I bought and continue to buy, for the fact that we're going out on the road in just over 3 weeks, and we'll be going through the Midwest for somewhere. It depends on the weather. If we can stay on schedule, because I just talked to one of the families today, and got them. They'll be the first family, and then we had a little setback with one. Still can't get legal access to one of the properties, and so we're working on that. And so hopefully in the next 3 weeks that'll be taken care of.
Yep. I'm just gonna put my
Can I
feelers
just
out there. Oh, go ahead.
can I just say something? When Journey asked that question, my mind had to go back to what she put in our chat today.
Oh,
Steve, it was so hilarious. Somebody sent her a private message and said, "Can I send you something?" And she said yes. And then they sent her a video that was very, very, very bad.
Steve, you know the kind.
Yeah. And so I'm just imagining in my mind that she wanted to hire you to track that guy
Is
down.
that what you're talking about, Journey? Because as soon as I go in there, I don't even know what link they're talking about. All I'm going is, that's Jenny. Jenny,
I had to laugh.
Jenny.
Well, if Journey, if you send that to me, if my wife opens that, she's going to probably.
Then we'll be pulling our handcuffs again.
Yeah, you're going to have to send a disclaimer of that.
She immediately told the guy that she was going to send that video to her attorney and have him follow up with the guy, and the guy blocked her. She must have scared him.
There's some sick individuals. I mean, there's some special people in this world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always be careful who you're accepting for friends, honestly, and never click on links of things you don't know. It's the first way to get your account hacked and all that stuff, you know. Just gonna put that out there, okay? Because there's a lot of people out there that just open things, don't even think about it. Next thing you know, their Facebook's hacked. Sally Hiller, you were one of them. I actually had to block her because that was twice that it had been hacked. But yet I know that she's, you know, a good person. But it's just, again, people just click on things without realizing, and next thing you know, boom, they've taken over your Facebook or something.
Yeah.
So just
it just happened to me. It just happened to my good friend. She's a movie producer, and it was sent to her, and it looked like something very innocent, and she opened it, and then they were into her accounts and everything.
Oh, I know. And right. That's why it always makes me laugh when I see like these things in my emails, like as if my post office is a package for me and different things, and just don't click on anything that you even find suspicious, people. Steve, Jumpin' Jack Flash says, are you traveling for new cases or some you're already working on? Well, he's going to be traveling. Do you want us to talk about that again?
I'm working on some cases for some families over the last, since I've started in the last, 3, going on 4, days 18, just over 4 months and 3 days now that I've been creating content and out here. But I had families that saw me, and I made it onto. There's a group of, or Facebook group of victims that get together, and they support each other. And one of them had seen my content and thought highly of that content, and so they recommended for a family to get in touch with me. And from that one contact, I have 3 cases, or 3 cases, 4 states, but 3 cases that I'm working on. And of course, there's certain security risks because, of course, I can't announce the names of the cases, for I'm going out looking, trying to find a killer, and which I don't have a problem with that. But I most certainly have to minimize the risk to others around me and to Mrs. Steve. But we're prepared for whatever. But as we go out on these cases, then we will, whichever families wish to, promote their families' things and the issues of the cold cases and the information they have, we most certainly will bring that information back. But prior to, we just don't do it.
Steve, Lisa says, Steve, what do you think about the former FBI agent basically that is tweeting about Delphi? Are there any rules about unprofessionalism of this? Is there?
No, everybody has their own opinion, freedom of speech, and as long as they're not bringing anything forth that is absolutely, destroying the case or anything, which I mean, it doesn't create anything other than will a defense attorney at some point subpoena this FBI agent and said why? And that's the only thing is that the defense may call that FBI agent in a case and say it ain't my client. You say it's this client, and so but that'd be the only issue with it. And because when you work these cases, you do develop a bias. It's hard to be extremely open-minded. And because when they give you that lead and you're to follow it up, and it's a lead that's different from other investigative teams or partnerships, that you develop a certain bias towards that. You say, at what point is it the coincidence is not being such as what they went in with the first search warrant being Ron Logan and saying that he was basically the killer and being part of that investigative group and team that came up with that Ron Logan affidavit. And so I understand that when you read that affidavit, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that they'll go to their deathbeds believing it's Ron Logan.
Believing it. Yeah.
Right. Because of that affidavit and the way they worded it.
Absolutely. But there's also other avenues at law enforcement, and there's just as many that believe it's one or another or several, and because that's where you get whatever evidence is presented to you, and you build that bias. That's the way you go.
Well, that's the thing is that it's kind of like what Alexa says here is kind of how I feel. She says, a person believed that a former FBI agent shouldn't be assuring that RL was the killer. Coffin Daffer should honestly get a job. Well,
I think that's what she's trying to do is get a job on media somewhere. That's why she's trying to, talk about that and draw attention to herself. That's my opinion, but.
Right. And because it's just, for me personally, again, nothing against Coffin Daffer. Yes, I'm sorry, there is actually. Is that when somebody sits there and says like that she believes that the killer, and she's an FBI agent, you've just put a big target on yourself, first of all. If that was just a Joe Blow saying that, they wouldn't think nothing about it. But when you're actually edging people on, like, you gotta believe that the person, because just like someone takes you, Steve, on what you say, and that's why it's good you don't talk about a POI, because people are going to believe that as gospel. And so when Coffin Daffer says this as well, they're going to take that, because it's an FBI saying it, and everyone thinks that the FBI has the more information and stuff like that. And I just think that honestly, like personally, I thought it was not like she can do whatever she wants, but I don't think it did her any favors. Besides make her look like maybe she's a Looney Tune, to be honest with you.
Well, I hadn't seen all her stuff. I just seen where people have commented about what this comment.
Well, she did the Gabby Petito case, and a lot of people she rubbed the wrong way from the Gabby Petito case because she was putting out a lot of stuff on, like, tweeting it, and a lot of her information was just simply wrong once the truth came out. But she was like pushing it, and so then all of a sudden the Delphi case, and then she's pushing like a Ron Logan thing to say, and so she's just not making her own self look too good to, a lot of the people that are, and I've seen it multiple times being said. A lot of people remember her from the actual Gabby Petito case, and I mean, each to their own, right? I just think that. My thing is this: if you still honestly believe that Ron Logan is a BG, when it's clear as day he is not on that bridge, then you should quit your job if you have anything to do with FBI, because that's just so. Because I would think that someone with that expertise and training, no, seriously, give me your badge, because obviously I can do a better job than that woman. So give me your badge, because honestly, though. When you are an FBI agent, right, you're supposed to have a little bit of smarts there. And sitting there saying that Ron Logan, that you believe that the killer, Ron Logan, Mr. 78-year-old man, killed those two girls, walked out. Yeah, just ridiculous. So, again, unless there's that ulterior motive that you speak of, Deb, where she's just trying to cause controversy. Some people do that. Maybe
to get attention and publicity. Yeah. Well, I hate to do this because I love.
I know you got to go.
Being on here with you, and I love being on here with Steve, but I have a massive day ahead of me tomorrow, and so
Yeah.
I'm going to have to
No,
hop off.
absolutely. We won't be on here too long anyway, because I'm sure Steve wants to relax. And it's Steve. It's 9. It's wait, Deb. Love you.
One more thing I want to ask. When are you on again, Steve?
Let's see. This is Sunday, isn't it? Tuesday. I'll be back on Tuesday.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. We'll see you
What
guys.
are
Bye.
you? Yeah. Take care, Deb. Love you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Steve, what are your days that you go live now? Look at that. We got rid of her. Finally. Oh,
Well, last week was my first week going 3 times live, and then also doing a membership thing for my members. And so as we move forward and prepare to go on the road, I'm trying to get as much attention and get everybody, as organized, and I have such a great community that they've been so supportive to me, and it's absolutely humbling, I tell you. And I'm looking forward to going on the trip. Now, I don't know what we're going to be doing. I'm hoping that I can build a relationship with enough of my community that they will let us slide of being off the air for a week if that's what happens. I don't know what's going to happen during that week. I don't know how it works about being able to have the Wi-Fi to make the connections and everything to do what type of uploads. So I'm just, trying to spoil everybody right now with as much information for a couple, 3 weeks to tell them just bide with me. And when I get back in another week, I'll have some more information with you for you.
Yeah, that will be a great live too when you do all that.
Well, like I said, we don't really know we don't know where this journey that we've started is going to take.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the odds are so against the CSI part of it, and nothing against the dive teams and everything. But I look at, they're in an environment that has never been searched before, although what they're doing is great. And I admire them so much, but there's only so many boat ramps and entries and accesses to lakes and rivers. And there's a lot of cars at those points, and they're finding these victims, and absolutely thank God they are. I appreciate it. But I'm following up behind some really great minds of law enforcement that scenes that have already been processed. And so for me to get one is going to be like hitting a lottery ticket. It's going to be extremely hard. I'm going to have to look at some of these cases that DNA wasn't a part of. And that's what they're doing a lot of. They're finding these guys or these families and these victims that's in the waterways. I admire them, and that I'll always respect for what they do. It's absolutely amazing. But I don't know who's going to have the harder job, them doing what they do in a 100% hostile environment, or me following up behind some great minds that have processed these crime scenes. I don't know which ones has the harder job.
Yeah. You know what? Either way, it's beautiful work regardless.
Oh, I know.
At the end of the day, I know it's one of those things like, the one that really hit home was when he's talking about the 23-year-old case, and all that's going, okay. I always put myself, and I know you probably do too. I always put myself in their position. How would I be feeling, in a sense, or what would I want done, or how would I want, So when I'm sitting there and he's talking about the 23-year-old case there, and all I could do was picture that 23 years this family had to suffer with not knowing what happened to that person.
And then, not knowing if they were abducted or murdered or tortured or no idea.
Coolest thing ever.
Absolutely.
On somebody to do that. I could not imagine. And so my heart sinks because my heart is just like, I could never imagine that type of pain. I know I can, but I would never want to, because it's such a deep pain that those people must feel, like even with Karina McClurkin, right? 6 years almost. Finally, she's brought home. So she's brought to rest, and they're going to be having her thing on, I think, the 25th it is, right? It's like finally 6 years later, basically, answers have finally arrived. Conviction part separate. The fact that the family and now knows where those remains are, and now that they're back home, again, I couldn't. I mean, I'm not in their shoes, but my heart feels it feels so heavy for them.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, when I look at these dive teams, I think back. I say, how in the world do they figure out where that car is, other than by boat ramps, roadways, wreck points, and then go search there? Because other than that, I can't imagine how they even know where to look. Because it has to be some area that's accessible by a vehicle to get in those waterways. And how do you narrow that field? And kudos to whatever their research team and how they do that, because
because I was gonna say, through talking with the people, Steve, meaning, because obviously someone's contacted them to ask, hey, can you help? And so through the grapevine of the family or whatever, they must have kind of like given ideas or thoughts, and then obviously
it had to be based on the victimology. What was their normal travel routes? What were their habits?
Absolutely.
Where did they go? What time of day did they come missing? Where would they have traveled to? But still, there's always those outliers of what was happening and everything. It'd be based on that victimology is the only way I could. But then again, I'm not going to be jumping in with no. I don't know how much those tanks weigh, but 50 or 75 pounds of weight on my back jumping in the water is not my idea of a good time.
I know. I always think that when I'm, I should have asked that, because whenever they're walking, and I was when I seen Jacob walking out of this the RV, and it's kind of like when they're tilted forward, and you're like, how much do those suckers weigh? Because everything from the mask to the suit to the everything, like, you gotta at least put on, what do you figure, like another like 25, 20, 30 pounds?
I don't know, but then they have to wear a weight belt to keep them down. But I mean, above the water line, it's got to be extremely heavy. And then when you hit, it has to be, you're in that neutral balance of whatever it takes to, they're trained to whatever that flotation method that they use. It's just strange to me. And I don't have the mindset to be a diver.
Right. It's one of the, what would ever have stopped me from being that is that I don't like being too claustrophobic. So because I've never been in a suit, but I don't like, it's kind of like being in an airplane. I don't like the ability that I just can't get up and go, get away from you people, but when you have a tank and a mask and all that stuff on, like I panic in little things like that. Like I'm claustrophobic to a point. But something like that would make me probably like to try, so that's where I would have probably not done so well, even though I like the beauty of the ocean. I don't like feeling claustrophobic. What do you think about that? Are you claustrophobic?
No, I'm not claustrophobic. I enjoy dark. I've been in caves, went in some places that I thought I wasn't going to get out of. But made it out, got tight, and and even worked a crime scene or two in a cave, a time or two. So, it's no, the darkness is. I actually enjoy working nights better than any time. I enjoy the dark versus light.
Oh, me too. I am totally. I am an absolute night owl. Hey, Meadow Mama, Michelle. I am a total night owl. I do my best work at nighttime. That's when I do my thinking. That's when I do my searching for the most part. During the day, I just, I'll do it. Right. Honestly, it's like nighttime is my thing. There's that point in time at nighttime. It's like when my husband's sleeping and I feel like I'm not being distracted by nothing. I might be talking to somebody on Messenger a little bit, or maybe not, but I just like that time. It's like my daytime to me, really. Like what people seem as their daytime. It's peaceful, it's
Yeah.
restful, and that's one thing. Can I just go back to something even
Hmm?
because I wanted to say it when Jacob and that was on, but one of the most relaxing feeling, although I'm not a fisher person, a fishing woman, fishing man, whatever you want to call it, one of the most relaxing things I've ever done was throw a rod into the water and just reel it back in. Even with a little thing on it, you get little tug, that little tug of
Mhm.
happiness, knowing that you got, like something on the end of it. It's just that
Oh yeah.
that,
It, oh, it
it's so
is. It is.
relaxing.
It's so it brings back those childhood memories and I love fishing and
Yeah.
I do it a lot. But when I said cave diving, there I'm not talking about going in the water. I'm talking about spelunking. Is
Oh,
of going into cave diving. I wouldn't go into a cave dive and jump into water inside a cave no more than I would out in the river or a lake and go down it with all that metal on me. But no, spelunking, I kind of misspoke when I said cave diving because um, I didn't know how many people out there would know what spelunking meant.
oh, okay. Yeah. I've never heard that word before.
Okay. Yeah, that's going into
S-E-P?
caves, exploring caves, going into the darkness and getting in some really tight places. And
Say that
I'm
word
a
one more time for me.
spelunking, S-
Spelunking?
spelunking, Spelunking, I think.
Spelunking.
Hmm.
Almost like a spanking, but a spelunking, like that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think if you look that up, I think that's what it would.
Never even heard of that word.
Yeah.
There's
Most
there's my
people,
new.
that's
Yeah.
your new word, spelunking.
Yep. Never heard of it
And
before.
yeah, but yeah, I think that's
Me and big words, no.
oh yeah, it's
Okay, Jethro. Spelunking, okay, is fun. Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm just throwing me off because such a weird word to me. Spelunking.
yeah, the
Huh.
exploration of caves, especially as a hobby, is what spelunking is. So I taught a Canadian something.
Yeah. And it's just one of those words in my head that it doesn't seem to go with the word cave diving, and you call this thing spelunking. Like
Yeah.
spelunking, I'm thinking of water splashing, spelunking around, and you're associating it with like caves. Yeah.
Hmm.
Huh.
Yeah,
Hmm. Oh, you taught me something new today. Thank you. Appreciate that.
that's what
Power's knowledge.
that's what I'm here for.
Okay, because okay, this is for Steve. Okay, do you actually know what scuba stands for? Only because I learned it when I was a kid. Do you actually know what it means?
It's something about the breathing apparatus and the yeah. I could put it together here. It's the oh God, it's the breathing. It's the underwater breathing apparatus. But
Close. Yeah, yeah, you almost got it. You got half of it.
Yeah,
What's the SC?
yeah. Is it special?
Nope. Self. Self.
Self-contained.
Yes.
There you
Self-contained
go.
underwater breathing apparatus. It always stuck in my head when someone said what it meant, and that's when I was like really young. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was just like, it just always stuck in my head that I remembered it because it was like self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, and it
I
was almost
think I
like a little
learned that
finger.
when I was a small child watching Jacques Cousteau. I believe it was the first time I heard that, and but that's been what 50 years ago, 50 something years ago. Yeah, it's been 50 something. So, but like I said, my mind's not like it used to be. I'm sorry.
Right? That's what pisses me off is that, like I said, calculator brain, right? Calculator, good eyes, calculator, gone. Sticky
Yeah.
notes, and going say it to myself 10 times so I don't forget. And Alexa, I understand this too. And I'm really bad for like saying something, and then I'm too lazy to go back and autocorrect it because it's just like, come on, because you know how like the phone, it's like Siri or Alexa. If it's ooh Alexa, that must suck for you if you have a Samsung. Hey Alexa, because you know how one's Alexa, or
Hmm.
mine's Siri, and it's just like I'm just like Siri, you're fired, literally you could not make out a lick of English, like a lick of English if I tried, unless I talk like this. Hey, Alexa, what do you think? As if
Oh,
I'm special.
we don't have one because down here in Georgia, whatever my Southern accent plus the King's and the use of the King's language is probably not real
I
good.
always I wonder about that because of that you have the heavier Southern accent there. So I always kind of wondered about that, how that worked real well with a Siri or Alexa or something like that.
Don't know. We don't have one. So
yeah, because if it can understand, and I feel like I just talk normal, it always still makes me laugh when people say, "Yeah, I can tell in your Canadian accent," because it's like, for me, it's like I feel like the English is the most basic, boring, like Canadian nothingness to it. I don't realize a twang or anything to it.
Yeah.
Although I do say a, I do like to say a, but I don't mean. I mean, it's just part of who I am.
Yeah, we turn
but
a lot of A's into U's. Like it's a fur piece. It's not.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jumping jack bus. Go ahead.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I just reading
Wait.
that. But no, the Southern language is a dialect of its own. There's a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, I love the Southern accent too. I remember when my ex-husband was staying. I think he was in Atlanta, and he was going to some speedway thing or something like that. And anyways, the lady that kept answering the phone was like, it was like, "This is Charlotte. How can I help you?" And I'm like, "Well, Charlotte," I said, I was like, because it was like a hot cocoa in the morning, like when I'd call, and I get that voice. It was just so pretty and beautiful, It was just so sweet, and I just couldn't help it. When I hear that, it's just like, "Well, Charlotte, just want to talk to my husband,"
That's something my wife that she gets a lot of compliments on is her phone voice. When you hear her on the phone, you think, "Oh my goodness!" I mean, she has a wonderful phone voice. It's absolutely amazing.
Your
My
wife?
wife, when she's on whenever you talk to her on the phone, there's been people that try to hire her to do messaging and things because she has it's so clear and understandable and so precise.
Right. Aw. So straight from the horse's mouth. Hey, straight from the horse's mouth. He says, "Steve, do you like Leonard Skinner?"
I'm tone deaf. I've never heard anyone in music that I could understand. That once I turn the radio off, I've listened to everything from classic music to opera and to soft rock, hard rock. I kind of like it all, but
Same.
Yeah.
But it has to sound good to the ear, right, Steve? It just has to.
Yeah. At the moment when I turn the radio off, I can't tell you what I was listening to. I'm just, I don't have that ability. Now I've got a brother that if he hears a song, he can instantly play it instantly, but I don't have that gift.
You know what? That's one thing I don't have either. Because I like, honestly, I know who Michael Jackson is. I know who Madonna is. I know certain things, but honestly, normally I have to Google lyrics to see who's actually singing it. My capacity in my brain, it never allowed it to really take on songs and remember. Although I would remember a lot, it never. You know how certain things it just out with went.
And I think one of the drummers, the original drummers of Leonard Skinner, is from Georgia, if I'm mistaken.
Georgia. There you go, Steve. I gave you the intro into that one.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Take it from there. One day we'll get you singing there.
Oh yeah.
It's just like when Deb always sees Sweet Caroline. You can't help but think of this song, right? When you see Sweet Caroline.
A sick joke I played on one of my lieutenants one time. He pulled up beside my patrol car, and I was sitting there, and I started off singing the Flintstones. Oh. And so he jumped right in singing the Flintstones, And I mean, he was hard into singing Flintstones, and I keyed the mic of the radio that broadcasted across all the government agencies so that they could hear him sing.
Oh.
And he he went into a panic. It was funny.
Oh, one of my favorite videos to watch, and is honestly, remember when that trend happened, when basically all the like police officers were having challenges against each other,
Oh yes.
and they were that was so fun. Even Doug Carter and his group in that did that too. But I don't know. I just honestly, it makes me laugh whenever I see someone in uniform, kind of because normally you would never see a cop sitting there like dancing and singing away. It's just
I'm
one of those
impressed.
things.
Some of them are great dancers.
Oh, they're great
Absolutely.
dancers and great singers. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Steve, how about them Atlanta Braves, man?
They're moving along. Atlanta's not known for all their sports exploits. After we blowed what the Falcons did a few years ago against Mr. Brady, after they blew that. That's the Falcons, not the Braves. But we've had our moments.
Oh, is that Adam? Wait, who's this lake driver next to Sunny? Where's the rude blonde? Well, we ditched the rude blonde. We ditched Chaos Divers. And we were just sitting here chatting it up, waiting for Adam. Adam, we need to hear about your Elton John concert. Yeah. How rude. But yeah, I know.
Yes.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I was just saying Elton John and what he did for Princess Di with that song, it was heartbreaking.
The Candle in the Wind.
The Candle in the Wind. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like I say, I listen to all music. I just, once it's off there, I can't remember it. But when I remember how I felt when I heard him, when he gave that dedication.
When he said it. Me too. I won't forget that either, because that was one of my most, it was a perfect song for Diana, for Princess Diana. And so although it was a song that he had sung before, and when he changed it up, it's a beautiful song that just when you hear it, it just was epic. And I've always remembered that too, just like you, Steve, the Candle in the Wind. I remember that moment, I was folding laundry. Matthew was just a newborn. I think it happened on August 31st, I believe it was. And I just remember the TV was on, folding laundry, and then I heard Princess Diana was in a car accident. And then I started watching it, and then they announced that she had passed away. And I was like, wait, what? That's really when it kicked into me how what's the word I'm looking for, Steve? How you never know when your time's there.
When you're going to meet your maker, or is that what you're going with that, or which one? But I see Jethro here says that he was in a concert in '98. Were you a Deadhead? There's Jerry Garcia. Were you one of his fans?
As Jeffro in '98. Yeah. August 1997. I've only ever been to, what about you, Steve? I've only ever been to 2 concerts, and that was AC/DC and Garth Brooks.
When me and my wife were dating, Randy Travis was her main man. And so I took her to a concert down in the Omni back then, which they've destroyed now and built there. But so that it's been many, many years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that the only one that you had gone to?
I believe so.
I don't like crowds. Like, that's why when I can handle them, I just don't like them. That's why you never really catch me like I used to go to hockey games and football games and this. You know what I hate? I hate it when you know that it's going to be about 3 hours long, and that you at some point you're going to have to go to the bathroom or something, and then you have to go, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. You know, I hate that feeling of confinedness. Once I'm in my seat and that I'm fine, I just hate going, excuse me, excuse me. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, I hate that type of around people. It's just too much. Like for me, it's like having chaos in my head. Ooh, there's a good one. It's like having chaos in my head. Um, just
Well, it
too
gets
many
worse
voices.
as you get older. There's a lot of chaos.
But yeah, Steve, what do you think about Douglas Carter flying a hell? Oh, okay, you can ask that one. I remember somebody asked that the other day. What do you think about that, Steve?
You know, I have heard about that, but some people relate it that it was during an officer's funeral or something that they were in the area. I didn't know it was with the river search too. I don't know if that's different or I thought that had occurred prior to the river search, but like I said, I really hadn't clarified that.
Mm, yep. I, you know what? They probably talking about something to do with the whole Klein thing and blah blah blah. Um, yeah. So you know what? Honestly, my brain could explode with all the information. You know how sometimes when it just rains and it pours, Steve, with information? Like at any point,
I'm
Steve,
there right now. I'm there.
yeah, like, do you know when you get to the point that there's so much up there, like meaning you have a good grasp of it, and then there's so much up there that your brain just almost has a meltdown because it's like, it's almost like a little bomb going off because it's like it's just overwhelmed with information that the minute I feel when my brain panics, it's like next thing I know, the information goes bing, bong, bing, 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 bong, you know. Or if I haven't talked about it in a while, then I have to go, oh yeah, but like I knew it back then, like it was crystal clear. Now I'm like, I'm gonna have to look that up or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking with a private investigator the other day out of Texas that's a retired law enforcement, and we were talking about cases, and uh, and uh, I said, "Do you realize how hard it is to keep up with all this information?" And she says, "Of course I do, because I'm still working cases. And I'm from the PI work." I said, "But mine are 1,600 miles away. I can't drive across the street. All my information is, I'm having,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to travel on the road, and I'm getting everything." And but yes, and she was in the same predicament about having all that information on multiple cases, working for attorneys and things. Now that she's in the private side of it, and
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly wish I lived over in Indiana. Like I would be like, I'd be like, giddy up, pony, let's go. Come on, who's gonna meet me? Come on, let's go knock on some doors. Let's go
oh,
ruffle some feathers. that's
I
that's
hope.
me.
Well, like I said, all my stuff won't be, it's just going in there, gathering what information I can, and hopefully I find that one um, piece of evidence that flips something. That's all I can hope.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because you said you're gonna go look at about what? How many cases? Like three or four? Was it
Let's
three
see,
or four?
I've got 3 families that have contacted me to look at theirs. So most certainly those 3 are,
Yeah,
and if the weather permits and travel time permits and the tours and everything works out, looking at the crime scenes, understanding what the situation was and what the environment looks like. And because it changes on investigations from eyes on the ground versus looking at it from Google Earth.
yes,
And seeing where those other houses are and what you can see through the valleys and through the trees, and where is those isolated ambush points, and where would someone possibly dispose of a victim. And so I most certainly got a lot of territory to cover, and so we're going to do the best we can within that 7 days.
yeah, absolutely. Um, And I'm sorry, I should just pull up your link here. So that just in case, like down the road, if people don't see this link, you know what I mean? Like now, most people that are probably watching now probably are subscribed. And if you're not subscribed to True Crime Web, oh, you're going to get a lashing. You're going to get beaten, right? With the handcuff, and you get bound with the handcuffs. There we go. Yeah, I know. That's perfect talk for Adam right there. Whoops, that's Chaos Divers link. But you guys, they have a shop. Go support them too. How did I hit the?
That's fine.
You know what's weird is I'm literally on your. So weird. I'm literally. Oh, maybe I'm lagging. I was literally on your site, and yet it was showing True Chaos Divers on top. But yes, you guys.
So I've been hacked by Chaos Divers. They've
I think that's what happened. Yeah. Yeah. So if anyone's watching this video out there, please go support Chaos Divers. There's Ride or Dive, Turtle Boy. But I know, like I said, Lindsay, she just got her open water diver certification. And I know I heard Jacob say this, so he can't give me shit. That, you know, if you do want to go support them, donate anything to them to help them out, obviously, then please do so. And as for Steve, again, he's going on a mission too. So perhaps you want to donate to Steve over here when he does his channel. And I don't have your PayPal or anything, or else I would drop that sucker too.
I know. I just, like I said, I've been so well blessed that we're doing, you know, that our community is doing what they're doing. I most certainly appreciate it though, but
it's always really appreciative too. And I know we had a couple donations tonight here too. And I want to blah, 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 blah. God, I got too many things going on here. There was a couple donations tonight, so I want to make sure I thank those people too. And it's like they're sitting there in my head. Right, Jenny and Lake Michigan. That was it. I think that was it for today. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. I want to get that in there. I did drop True Crime Web's link, you guys. So if you guys aren't subscribed, please go subscribe. It's always really nice to support really great people, and that's exactly how I'll always stay true. You know, when it's somebody that means a lot to me, they don't have to ask anything. I will go out of my way for them. If it means helping somebody else out, and in return, again, I know people like that, like Gonzo and yourself, and that will help us out as well if we need it.
And COH said he sent me a PayPal last night. Thank you. I've already spent it, but thank you.
We're sending him another one. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it. But yeah, I was in there, and Mrs. Steve pays all the bills on Sunday, and so she was writing the checks out to we made another order to Searchy today, and so I should be getting some more equipment in another couple of weeks.
Okay. Now, Steve, I don't want to I'm just going to ask you just straight out. So give me an honest answer. Oops, shoot. Let me delete that. What was I thinking? Yeah. I'm sitting here. Hold on. Where did I just do that?
It gets worse as you get older. It does. I'm telling you.
Run, remove. I'm putting that in the wrong chat. What the heck was I thinking? I was like, yeah, here, I'll just drop you the link. But we all know that those Looney Tunes will come out of nowhere. There you go. There you go, Adam. It's in the thing. Well, Adam can come on himself. Wait, what does he mean? He's asking for a link.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. It may be not Adam. It may be one of those.
Yeah, let me take a look actually first. Because that's so weird. That Adam would ask for a link knowing he can come on. So let's take a look. Let's see if that's Adam, because no, Adam has a wrench, has to be the real Adam. Yeah, that has to be the real Adam. But Adam knows he can come on. Unless he's not at home. Well, still. I don't know. It's not making sense to me. But well, I was gonna say, I mean, I'll know it's Adam just when he comes in the back room there. So, but it just threw me off all of a sudden. I'm like, wait a second, dude, you can come on yourself. You don't need a link. So hold on. So, sorry, Steve. What my question to you was, I don't want to keep you if you do need to go.
No, I ain't got
Are you
anything planned until
okay?
um, tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Next time.
Okay.
So I was on last night for, I think, almost, well, I had some off time in between the shows, but I was on there like 8-9 hours yesterday. So I had a great time.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, yesterday was obviously a really busy day for you over there.
It was,
Um,
but no, I mean, plus I had my work day.
yeah.
I stay
Me
busy.
too.
I stay busy.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to double check that was go to channel. Go to channel. Okay, fine. It's Adam. Okay. Yeah. I was just like, dude, why are you asking for a link though? Adam's on his phone. Right, yeah. You know what? He's probably not even at home yet. Wait, it disappeared. Adam, it's in our chat. It's in our messenger. I dropped it over there. Yeah, so good fight. Obviously, Adam's not coming home from a concert.
I don't know how y'all do this stuff. If it wasn't for Mrs. Steve, I would.
I was gonna say, you let her do all that stuff, or are you trying to learn it too?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I'm gonna learn it. Yes, the Google machine is going to be mastered by me. Yes.
Yeah. It would. My thing is that I like, meaning it would drive me crazy if I don't know how to do things, because of course if something messes up or whatever, or I need to do something, I hate relying on people. So it's like, so as much as I
Well,
hate learning, I love learning, but as much as I hate reading and certain things, sometimes I just have to bear down and grudge through it. Because
you
it's
see
like a
these little
lot.
tiny hands that I
Yeah.
have. They're very destructive, and so as I pound upon the keyboard, it just doesn't work out sometimes.
I know, right? That's how I feel about my phone. My phone, when I touch my phone, I feel like piano fingers here. And then that's why I like my iPad. My iPad's like the perfect size, even though the little thing keeps crashing on me all the time. Because the memory says like 30.2 out of 32. Yeah. I got like, so it keeps crashing on me because it's like, take shit off me, take shit off me. And I'm like, no, I need you. I need everything that I have on there. Stop it. But it keeps crashing on me like really bad lately. And it's because I need to take off pictures again. Or I need to get a thumb drive or whatever it is.
Oh,
Something.
you've been taking pictures again.
I always is taking screenshots. It's more that I don't really take more pictures of the actual video anymore. I just go back to my old ones that I have. Because really, honestly, see, I'm sure that 70,000 pictures was more than enough to figure out in a 1 point something second video. You could pretty much capture every freaking frame and video and thing that you wanted out of all that, because
Well, I can sympathize because I've taken so many thousands of pictures of crime scenes
yeah.
and
Yeah,
when
well,
I used to do some training, and I'd be telling people, if you ever saw me in your driveway, panic, because it wasn't a good thing.
well, I was gonna say, what's hard. I'm waiting for Uber prices to go down. Adam, the links in Messenger. You can.
Do
You
Uber
can
prices go down after midnight?
He's being cheap, is he? He's waiting like 1 extra minute or something.
Yeah,
So you guys getting a little hungry here. No, got
I've
nuts.
never I've never rode in an Uber. I don't know. I have no idea.
Steve, I did it for my first time a couple weeks ago. It was actually quite. I liked it. I didn't. What I liked was that I never did it before, and I was like kind of panicking a little bit, not too much, but a little. And then because I'm watching, I've never used it, but I'm watching this car go down the road, and then literally you watch this car like drop right in front of you, and you get in it because you can tell it's your Uber that's waiting for you, It's just like a taxi, but it's easier because you already prepay for it. You don't have to get ripped off by those freaking taxi. Okay, those taxi cab drivers, those guys are criminals. I'll tell you why. Because those guys, they're fraudulent, like most of the freaking corruption going on in Indiana. They changed that little ticker, that little timer. Oh, look at Adam. They
Hey.
changed that little shit. Okay, they do. Hey, Adam.
Hey, can you hear me?
No. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just kidding. We can hear you.
Uh,
What's up?
Nothing. Just waiting for the Uber prices to go down. So I could walk, but it's only a mile. But I know too much crime.
What's that big old building behind you?
Yeah.
Oh, which one?
The big lit up one. No,
Big lit up one.
They're all
I
lit
think
up.
you're talking about the other one, right, Steve? The one that's white.
yeah.
That one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Adam, the one to your right.
Your
if
left
I was
shoulder.
looking at you. Yeah, your left
Yep.
shoulder.
That one?
Yeah.
It's an apartment.
Oh no, it's
Yeah.
not that one. It's the other one.
No.
What's that one that they're making a building? Is that what they're doing back there? To your left shoulder again? Yeah, right there. That one that's all lit up.
That
Oh, it
is
looks like
a. I don't know. It's some business headquarters.
You having they having a festival behind you?
No, it's just a little like sitting area, like little park. So I was just sitting waiting.
Oh my god, that's
So
so cute.
yeah, there's like it's got like all the lights, and then back there's like something called the French Quarter, which is all these bars. So just an easy place to wait. And there were some tables here, so
So
They have bars there. I've never heard. I've heard of bars. I've never seen one.
yeah, I've not been in one, Steve. I've just been outside here.
Yeah. So Adam, what do you mean you're waiting for them to go down? How long do you have to wait?
Well, so I mean, like I said, I only live like a mile from here, and I could walk, but
Yeah.
it was like $30 to go a mile.
Oh, and
Uber.
so how do you know when it goes down?
They well, like when demand goes down, because they surge, and so that controls the price. So it should be like $7, and I'm too cheap to pay $30 to go a mile.
You could be talking to us and walking at the same time, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that talented. I think we all know that.
Just hear you heavy panting breathing. That's okay.
It's hard enough to sit here.
Yeah. So how was the concert?
It was really, really good.
Was it?
It was like one of those bucket list concerts. So
Yeah, one of those
See
bucket lists.
my glasses.
Did you buy those tonight?
No, I like what? No, look at my shoes.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, nice. Did you buy a T-shirt or anything?
No, I mean they were like $55. So
Yeah, I guess that needs
every
to go
time
towards
every time I've ever bought a concert T-shirt, I regret it. You know, you're like you wear it and then you're like you just end up wearing it at home and nowhere else.
Yeah. Yes, but anyway, yeah. You had a good time though, right? So that's
Yeah.
good.
It was nice. I went with my siblings, so it was also nice to like spend time with them and like have that experience.
Yeah, that's great.
So.
Yeah. So they sang "Candle in the Wind."
Yeah, he did. He sang "Candle in the Wind" for the Queen. So I was kind of afraid he was going to cancel and like go to the funeral because the funeral's tomorrow.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah.
It is.
But how was Chaos Divers? More importantly.
Oh, they were. You know what? They were great. They were great. Oh, I'm just feeling bad.
There.
What did you say?
I said his Uber's there.
Is it was there? Yeah. Yeah. Internally, I'm just feeling bad because I know for a fact if it was said Delphi, right? Like we were lucky if we got to 70 people in chat.
You didn't put Delphi in it?
No.
You know what? It was probably because I wasn't there. Do you think?
Yeah, that's obviously the reason. Yeah. It's just
I'm
because
sorry,
it
I'll
was.
never take a night off.
it's only because there was like I mean, like if unless we were talking about Delphi, I couldn't see putting it in the title, like into the title, because that would be misleading. Yeah. So internally I feel bad because normally there's, like whatever. But the thing is that normally we don't, like normally we are connected with the water. We know that we're connected in the sense of
You could have put
helping
the Wabash
people,
River in there.
right. If I would have put, right, that they're going to go search the Wabash River. I mean, shit,
Right.
that would have been a lineup outside.
Well, like the Karina McClurkin obituary that I posted the other night, it only has like 200 views.
I know.
It
How
doesn't
we
say
feel
Delphi.
about that. I know. You know how we feel about that, tributes and that. What do you feel about that, Steve? Does
What's
that
that?
kind of bug you a little bit?
What's that?
Well, it's always bugged me for all this time that, for instance, like people say like, oh, I care so much about these people, I want justice, and yet they can't be asked to watch a tribute video for the girls or for Karina McClurkin, like meaning
Right,
some
a
do.
2-minute obituary video.
But it's like unless it has something in the title that's enticing to them. And I just think that makes people's, like, a lot of people, they're very shallow about what they are saying because, like I said, if somebody, like, okay, I understand that everyone has their reasons, and some people think that maybe tribute videos are a little hard on the heart to watch because it's almost like it's, putting sadness right there. Now, the whole point of a tribute video is that you're commemorating their memory,
Right.
and that you're doing something beautiful so that you have something to kind of, like, if you care so much about that person, here's a nice, beautiful video, So I always find it hard on my heart that people treat the tribute videos as if they don't matter for the most part. They do matter.
And you put a lot of
No
work
matter,
you put a lot of work into yours. Like when you do
yeah,
your, they've made me cry before.
it's just that it's so twisted. That's so twisted to me. A
Yeah.
tribute video should get bigger numbers than a regular video.
Right.
But
If you
it
don't want
does.
to watch it, just play it, but just don't watch it.
So, Steve, my question is to you. Like, I know that that's my feelings on it, but give me a different insight that I'm not seeing here, because I find it very sad that people barely watch the tribute videos, but will watch the drama, no problem.
Well, I always look at it, I don't really care what anyone thinks about what I do. It's what makes me happy and what I know is right.
Yeah.
And,
Good answer.
Is that what Mrs. Steve told you to say?
Mrs. Steve is sound asleep right now. But
I just
and, but I can guarantee you there's 2 of the cases I'm going up in, no one in the world has ever, it has very limited coverage, if ever covered. And and I don't know, even after we get back, if the families will want to. I know one family said that they want as much exposure as possible, but it's never been covered before that I know of in the last. I mean, they fight hard to get the message out there, and I feel so bad for those families that some cases, either there is certain biases towards wealthier families. Well, no, just wealthier families, and or also by race, and it's sad. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah. All these victims, they deserve their moment of being recognized, and will it ever be equally? No.
And we all fall victim to. I mean, I do. I mean, I came into the Karina case way later than I should have, but I can't help that now.
I came into it about, if I'd came into it about 3 months earlier, our involvement, because the arrest came after the exact thing that we had a thing that we were going to do at their residence. If we could get into it, the exact thing that was in that warrant was what was a plan that if we could get, but we was trying to hire it out, and law enforcement stepped up and did it before we could find a private investigator and a CSI in the area to go out and process it, which made me at that time realize that it's hard to find a retired crime scene guy out there that's willing to go out and process stuff.
Just give me 1 sec, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. So, I mean, is there any hint you want to drop on the cases that you are looking into? I mean, without
No, there's so much security issues on it because we're dealing with cases where there are unsolved and there's a killer out there.
Okay.
And, so prior to, I don't want to expose the families to that risk. I ain't worried about myself even Mrs. Steve, we'll take care of our issues, but right. I don't want to expose certain families to those issues.
Yeah, no, that is respectful, absolutely respectable. So, I mean, I know there are things even in the Karina case that worry me still, but
absolutely.
But I mean, nothing that I think anyone's done outside of I just worry about the case a little bit, but all we can do is give exposure to it.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, Steve. I know you sent me an email a couple days ago. I'm just remembering right now. Actually, you did. Thank you.
I have never received a cryptic email like what you sent me. There was nothing attached but 2 words in the title.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to our daily life, Steve. You're like Adam, and then nothing. I mean, what?
What? Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, no, she sent it and it was a word equals a word. And I said, and then nothing. And I said, okay, this is the perfect tease. And I gave her a long list of questions, which would make a great show, by the way.
To be honest with you, I need to go because I seen it. And then it was one of, those moments where you go, okay, I'll have to go back to it. Yeah. And then you forget about it because all those other emails and different things and getting ready for chaos and making videos and blah. And then I'm like, oh, shit. I forgot to email Steve back. But
well, yeah, I thought, what is she doing this to me for?
No, yeah. I honestly don't mean to do it on purpose at all. It's just like, remember we were talking about the memory thing? So if I haven't emailed you back, just send me a booster email to say, Sunny, memory email.
No, I said, well, she's got one up on me. She's just tormenting me with this, that she has information that no one else has.
Wait, yeah. Alexa, I don't know. I just saw Alexa's comment in the chat, and I don't know what brought that up, but I knew Sammy. No, I don't know what she was talking about with that case, but I've never mentioned that on it. But I have a personal connection to that case.
To which case?
Samantha Josephson.
I'm just trying to see where there was a comment there.
I don't know what she was referring to. I just saw the comment, and it took me back a little bit. I'm sorry.
Aw, I'm sorry because I'm just like going, wait, what? This one.
So I was in a chat the other night with and it was Mel's chat, and I made a comment and I said, if I ever go missing, I want Mel on. Mel is one of the people I want on my case. I want Mel, Debbie, and Sunny, and Chaotic. And I got a message from someone that said, I want you on my case. And I said, oh, that's so sweet. And he goes, no, just because you'll get views. I was like, not that I would be helpful.
Wow.
I had that ego for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. So sorry that brought up some feelings there with the Samantha Joseph, and that's why I see Callie had said, "Oh, are you talking about the Samantha Joseph?" In case she thought it was her Uber, but it wasn't. I remember that.
Yeah.
I know that's why even I was reluctant to take an Uber because I've always just taken a taxi, and because I don't know who the Uber driver is. Like you put it's so different than you, Steve, right? Is someone going to put more trust in you to drive them home, or just an average Joe? It's kind of like a taxi versus Uber.
Right.
It's like you're going to trust a taxi driver more that's in an
He
actual.
was not an Uber driver, and he was not an Uber driver.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to look at, and I'm sure they have safety factors built into that stuff now, as far as when as far as the Uber drivers, but there's risk on their part too, of who they're picking up.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of safety features because of her, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, there are more crimes actually committed against the drivers than there are the passengers. But
yeah, I'm thinking the case I'm thinking about is when she accidentally got into the wrong car.
he did. It was Columbia, South Carolina. It was March 29th, 2018.
And
my niece was a roommate.
yeah, and I just that one actually stays in my head because she made the mistake of getting into the wrong vehicle, and that mistake cost her her life.
It was a black sedan. It's a mistake anyone can make.
But just to make that mistake, Adam,
I know.
and then that person to be a freaking killer.
Well, I mean, was he on? But then you have to look at, was he actually out there doing it with that intent? Was he a predator?
He had the child locks on in the back seat, and within 30 seconds, there was no escaping for her.
I guess it's one of those things that, right? If there's a means, if there's a way, like no matter what.
These predators, they find a way. They absolutely do.
That's what I mean, right? So something as innocently as perhaps, like, so let's say someone's sitting outside of a hotel, yeah, and then all of a sudden, like I said, they called an Uber, called whatever, and then the person pulls up and they think it's the Uber for them when it's really not. It's just a praying predator. It's scary that, like I said, where there's a will, there's a way, because that's how they think.
Yeah. It was like BG in a way. It was like the luckiest circumstance that killer could have ever encountered. He was trolling the area. It was closing time at the bars. She was a senior in college. It was a month before graduation, and it was 2:30 in the morning, and it's where all the bars are in Columbia, South Carolina, and he was circling the area, and a girl got in the car.
Mm-hmm. So sad.
So one of the features they did start after that is that they have barcodes now that you can scan.
Yeah.
The app onto the window. You can ask the driver to say your name, which is one of the things her family advocated for really big, and I actually advocated with through my Congress people, which got to the U.S. Senate actually. But.
I always thought too, like, meaning back in the day, that when the taxi came to pick you up, they would always say your name to you, and and then as time went on, it's like, are you my taxi? Like, okay, and then I would give them my name, and then you know what I mean. But it was almost like it became not so much of a thing like it used to be. Before, it used to be, they said your name to you. But yeah, it's just honestly, I can't even absorb all these cases out there.
Yeah.
Where
I'll talk about that one sometime. I had never brought it up.
I rode in a taxi once. I think it was 1978 or 79.
Yeah, was that the last time you ever did that?
Yes.
No, that's how much did it cost you to get in?
I don't know. There's 3 or 4 of us riding around together. We was in Kansas City.
He probably didn't pay something. He probably ran out. He's breaking the law.
Yeah, breaking the law. Songsmith says you're especially sunny tonight. Oh, you're especially so yeah. Hair is beautiful, skin's glowing. Go on. Hub's gonna get your attention tonight, especially. Yeah, I don't gotta try hard with my husband, to be honest with you. I truly don't. So like, there's no begging needed there. Yeah, he was driving around. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, that's lovely. Yes, always have to be very. I'm just like, as a whole, it just hurts my heart to no end to say, look at someone like Karina or Abby or Libby, or the 4 Flora girls the Evansdale girl. It doesn't matter which cases they are. The fact that these people had lives, they had so much, you know what I mean? And then to have that thought in your head, especially if you know what happened, that even kills me more. Just to know that, it wasn't just a car accident. Someone went well out of their way to murder a child or a person or whatever. I can't wrap my brain around that. And so when my mind goes there, it's too sad. It's too hard. I don't like to think about it, but yet it's real and it's out there. That's truth, you know?
The
But it's
next
just
thing,
so,
keep their kid in the car seat, and the little kid's feet soaked in the blood in the fabric of the floor.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's like on the news. They showed this car accident a couple weeks ago, Steve, or about 3 weeks ago. It was a really bad car wreck. This nurse lady goes through the light, literally smacks this car, and then another car goes into. I think her car goes into the no, whose car went into the pole of the gas station, and it's like it just and the news is showing a car seat on the ground. Who wants to see that?
No,
It's bad enough when you hear that there's fatality of children and whatever. I don't want to see a freaking child seat on the ground. I don't need to take it that far, you know. And I really wasn't happy actually with the news for doing that to you,
Right.
because it's like planting that extra seed. I already knew that children had died, but then to sit there and like focus on that car seat, you know,
Was that
I don't. I
Sonny?
don't know.
Was that in Canada?
No, that was over in the States over there.
I
It happened.
laws were different with showing that stuff.
No, it was over in your guys' country, and I can't think of exactly where it was. I just remember seeing it, and I watched it a few times because I couldn't believe how horrific it was. To watch it, I was like, "This." It's like the speed limit didn't exist to this nurse. She just boom. She cost 6 people their lives that day.
Oh,
Our whole entire family.
oh yeah. I remember.
But anyway, um, yeah. Anyway, um, I need to get going, guys. Here, but
I'm
Steve,
gonna jump off here and let you guys finish.
you're gonna what, Adam?
I'm gonna jump off and let you guys finish.
Yeah, we're just, I'm gonna wrap it up myself because it's 9:22. I'm gonna go get something to eat now. And it's been, yeah. Let's see. If you guys, though, could you guys do me a favor, whoever watches this stream, could you guys please share it to your social media, Twitter, Facebooks, whatever? Could you do that for me? I want people really to, again, become aware of Chaos Divers, become aware of Steve from True Crime Web. If you guys could just do that to me, so, share it to your social media, even become more aware of us. At the end of the day, like I said, it's just about bringing awareness and about caring, and we appreciate that.
you're heading towards 5K quick now. I mean, you're almost
Uh,
there. Ain't you?
Well, right? I mean, that's a little threshold in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
And
been steadily growing, for sure. I'm not even sure what we're at. I looked. Usually, I mean,
last month,
what are we at?
1,000 of those are in the last month.
Yeah, there's been like 1,000. Yeah, like we're basically at 4,548 is showing, which is obviously getting the. I mean, it's nice, and now always the reason why it's nice is like I said, for AWP. I was too busy thinking about I was having these people I admired on. It didn't even dawn on me till we were in the show and the sirens were going off. And I looked up top and I was like, does that say 1,000? Like I literally was caught off guard. I was that's when it clued into me about, oh right, AWP's on, right? Duh.
Yeah.
They got
I mean,
2
my
points.
best show I ever had live, I think I had 300 and something people. That's the best I've ever done.
That's better than mostly what we do. I mean, in all honesty, we've had, a few times where we've hit somewhere around the 300 to 400 mark a few times, but typically a good average for us, depending, is about 250 you know,
Right.
that 200, somewhere in that 2 to 300 area and stuff like that. But, you know, and so we appreciate it. You know, we appreciate the fact that we're growing. So it's kind of like Sleuth Intuition. I remember back in the day when he was about 2,000 subscribers, he could still get about 250 people in there, you know, and in a sense, so it was kind of one of those things. Though, although he didn't have the big subscriber numbers, he was getting a lot of people in there. I
Isn't it?
know that.
I'm sorry.
Hey, no, I was
No,
gonna say I'm. What, Adam?
no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say, isn't it funny that some channels that you like will turn on and I'm like, why are there 700 people in their chat? They're not talking about anything.
On there,
But
yeah.
that
Well,
wasn't important.
I'll take some of those ones as long as they're nice and kind. But the whole point is, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, you know, we're growing. I hope we're gonna grow because people, first of all, will trust in us because we do try to be right, Steve. We do try to let people have a voice, just be transparent and honest and genuine. You know, to me, those things were always, I mean, there's people that might do things the dirty way or whatever, but that's to them. And if they get there faster because of that, I guess, so be it. But I know for me, myself, and I don't want to speak for anybody else, but it always becomes about the morals. What's the
Right.
right thing to do?
What
You
goes
know,
around?
what goes around comes around. So even though those people might be here, we might at some point go here because we did it with that type of, you know, I don't know, that type of proper morals and etiquette and respect. So I just know that me, Deb, and Adam like have true core values and like good genuine reasons why we're doing this, and nobody can take that away from us. And we'll just, like I said, as much as we grow, Steve, and you can see, you know, we've had um, Chaos Divers, AWP, like I said, Cop Facts and stuff like that. But these are people that I truly respected and
Yeah.
have meant a lot to me. And same thing, Steve. Like we didn't really used to reach out at all to people, but I'm a lot more willing to do that now, to reach out to people and be like, hey, you know, because you mean a lot
No,
to me. So
I've never reached out to anyone. You know, I'm just a lone wolf here,
yeah.
and just
Well,
plodding along.
I was gonna say you're gonna get to that point too when you're gonna be like, hey, I really admire this channel. Hey, you want to come on my live? Because I never did that for a long time, right, Adam? We just kind of did our own thing, and I was doing my own thing. Then it was kind of like, you know, hey, like Alexa, for instance, she has the power of this knowledge. Steve has the power of this knowledge. And it just takes away from too the monotony of just seeing yourselves on a live. And it's always nice to get other people's insights, especially like I said, yours. Yours will do well and
Oh, I've been
grow.
on so many small channels, and I still do. You know, I go up anybody that wants me. You know, I've been on channels that had
I
300
know.
people.
Well, that's why he doesn't have to like reach out to anyone because everyone reaches out to him.
Yeah, I know, Steve. Mm-hmm. Then Steve's gonna be like, "Oh my God, my plate's like this."
Steve, you were
And
on
we're,
one podcast the other day. You were on one of those shows the other day that had like 800 people in the chat.
I don't know. Uh, People
Awesome.
call me and say, "Hey, will you come on?" And I say, "Okay." Like just what happened tonight. I was in chat, and
yeah,
Sonny said, "You got a moment?"
yeah, you got a moment. Yeah, no, it was, yeah, okay. Chaos went off, and again, we thank them very much for joining us. And you know, I wanted to keep them to what I said, which was about an hour and a half. Started about 10 minutes late, which was perfectly fine.
Did they,
Wham?
did they ask about me?
No,
No,
we made
Adam.
them.
But when you watch it, see what happened when I came on. I thought they were about to butcher me. I thought, "Oh my goodness, I have messed up. What have I done?"
We made them say hi to you, though, Adam.
I'm sorry.
We made them say hi to you, though.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I told Deb to do a cardboard cutout of me, but I don't think she probably did.
No. Mm-mm. Okay. I'm gonna get going here. I'm hungry. I keep eating these nuts that are in front of me.
Right.
Um,
All right.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
So Steve, anything, just quickly give yourself an out here, like I'm gonna be doing a live tomorrow, you said.
No, I'm not. I'm off there until Tuesday.
Not tomorrow. Sorry,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll be Tuesday. Big Tuesday. And
Mhm.
I'll be getting out and getting around and been working hard this weekend. But no, I appreciate everything y'all done and what y'all doing, and keep up the good work.
Yeah, you too, Steve. Thank you for just coming on, making your coffee and coming to join us. Thank you for doing
That's
that.
what I do. I make coffee and come wherever.
Yeah.
All right. Y'all have a great night. See y'all
Yeah.
Have a-
Take care, Steve. Say hi to the missus for us.
soon. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. All right, Adam. It's just me and you, dude.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just,
No.
I just had to kill
Uh-huh.
some. Like, might as well
No.
see what you guys all talked about.
Yeah, I know. I'm just sorry that you weren't here. You know. Yeah, I just wanted you to be here too when they were on, but it's what it is, right?
Yep. I'm sure you guys did an incredible job.
You know what? It went fine. I'm like I said,
Did
I
Deb,
really
did Deb bad? Deb did bad, and you kicked her off. Of it.
horrible. Yeah.
Was she rude to them?
I think she's crying right now, as a matter of fact. Mm-hmm. Steve, you can bring a +1 if Mrs. Steve doesn't have a date with the Google machine. Already.
John Kelly profiles.
Say it again.
Deb is in bed watching John Kelly profiles.
She probably is, actually. Yeah. Oh, wait. Did he do a new one? I think.
I don't know.
I don't know. I got it. You know what? Another one of my favorite people that I remember back then was Sam the Adventure Man, and this is how honestly sometimes I feel like the freaking like people are watching you, like the aliens or something, because I'll tell you why. I was literally watching. Hey,
I said now someone will clip that out.
right? Yeah, but it's because I was literally just thinking about Sam the Adventure Man because I remember him from AWP, and I was just thinking to myself, oh, you know what? I mean, I wonder what happened to really Sam the Adventure Man. And so then it just so happened, Lord have mercy, just so happened, open up my YouTube, Sam the Adventure Man
Isn't that
video. I'm just like, really?
It's
really, really, really.
I'll probably there'll be an Elton John thing on my YouTube probably.
Yeah, I mean, I swear to God, if there is, let me know, because it just creeped me out a little bit. Because I'm like, it just pops out. It was just there.
Yeah.
And like he hasn't been doing diving. Like he dives, but Sam was a big part of AWP. Yeah, had a very
bad break. Really?
I don't. Yeah, I don't want to actually talk. Like, thank you, Callie, for saying that, because somebody had mentioned something like that, and so and I think after listening to the video, I might have an idea why. Then, I believe I know why then, because there was a couple things that he said in his video which made me go, right. And so, yeah, but I don't, but I don't want anyone to really talk about it, and I'll go read about it myself and stuff like that. But it's too bad.
It's out there, you can find it if you look for it, I'm sure.
Yeah. But thank you for letting me know that.
Other guests that may be joining us this week?
Say that again.
Do we have any? I didn't know if you had released any. If we have more knowledge on the other guests that may join us this week, I'm not going to say anything. I don't know what you said.
No, I'm still. Hold on, I just want to check my messenger again.
I just haven't.
Let me just see. Let me just check my messenger here. No, nothing exciting in my messenger.
Right.
No. It will be a. Hold on a second. Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm just gonna have to wait on Turtle. But yeah, either or, we'll announce it if it happens or not. Okay, guys. But if so, it's gonna be a doozy if it does work out. Either way, thank you guys for coming today. Yeah, and I love the scenery behind you, Adam. Like, I just want to stay and look at that. You're making me happy.
We've got the You can see the yellow back there. That's the Bank of
Yeah.
Tower, which is that's the tallest building in Charlotte. It doesn't look like it from here, but
Oh, okay. I just like looking at the freaking little thing behind you there with all the color rainbow. Like it's purple and pink and
I
green.
guess
Oh my. Yeah. I just love looking at that stuff. But anyways, buddy.
I'll message
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Adam. I'll see you later. I'll talk to you later. Absolutely.
And if,
Other than that,
again, look for me.
yeah. Okay. Okay. You guys take care. Have a great night. All the best to you. Again, thank you for joining us. And again, if you could subscribe, check out Chaos Divers, check out Turtle Boy, check out Ride and Dive. And you can literally just go to the Chaos Divers and look in their description, and you'll find Turtle Boy as well there. And yeah, and if you guys could just share and like this to your social media, that would be amazing. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. Love you, Adam.
Love you.
Thank you, Chaos.
All right,
Go
everyone
ahead. Yeah, everyone. I think he cut out there, but he said everyone have a good night, of course. And yes, thank you, Chaos Divers. Thank you, Steve from True Crime Web. Thank you, Deb. Love you, Adam. Love you, the rest of you guys. Thank you so much for your love and support. Take care and have a good one. Yeah. Here comes the outro. Here comes the outro. Where is it? There it is.